will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any
America first, America first,
non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication
very much higher. America first.
to lead by an any
Insiders fighting for insiders.
time to stop.
Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders.
Time to stop.
Insiders fighting for insiders. America first.
Love the flow.
69. Now it's time for new
Believable,
people.
and we must do it. If we don't control,
Insiders.
this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any
America first. America first.
non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable
People.
and we must do it non-fatal. Communication
Very much higher. America first.
to lead by an any
Insiders fighting for insiders.
time to stop.
Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders.
Time to stop.
Insiders fighting for insiders. America first.
Love the flow.
You know, back when I was in the academy, we would follow every toast with a song.
Slow down. Watch this. Oh, hallelujah. Get up right now. I'm hearing something real powerful for someone. And now listen to this.
Sent that man that reaching out to hurting people. Hallelujah. This is what you do. Something more than it was. Yes. Listen to this right here.
I heard then, it was like the Lord spoke that through me then. Oh, there it is. Get up right now.
There it is again. Sent that man that reaching out to hurting people. This is what you do. Something more than it was.
I like that, don't you? Get up right now. There it is again, so strong. Oh yes.
Sent that man that reaching out to hurting people. Hallelujah. This is what you do. Something more than it was. Amen.
But you should feel angry that they're running like there's articles being written.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Why is my autoplayer on? Okay, YouTube. Oh my
Are you using
gosh.
like OBS or something? Because it'll usually autoplay when I open OBS.
No, I was using Chrome to play music on my private browser. Wow,
Okay.
that's hilarious. That is not how I wanted to start things here, but hello everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I need to pull you on screen here, so just keep talking for a moment. How are you doing today?
I am doing pretty good.
Yeah. Oh goodness. I feel okay. I should say that I feel bad, but by the same token, there is nothing but scuff in terms of VTubing, so I only feel so much bad.
Yeah. And to warn people ahead of time, because I am keeping an eye on the chat and they're going like, "Oh, you sound crispy." It's like, yeah, I'm in my car. I ended up getting pulled into a bunch of late night errands.
That is totally fine. That is totally fine. You will probably not be the last person that I have a phone call with when they are out and mobile. So it's totally good.
Well, the best part is like my night was completely free up until literally the hour before I had to go and do stuff.
Yeah. Welcome to the rice fields. Did Diorio get canceled? No, although some people aren't happy with him and his coverage of Destiny, but that is a conversation for another day. Oh goodness, I have opinions on the commentary community, but I don't care to get into them right now. Krispy Kreme. So, excuse me. This is kind of our first time kind of talking, because I if I remember correctly, you and Lumi have kind of briefly exchanged talking to each other. Or is she come on your stream? I can't remember. She told me she's talked to you though.
Yeah. She raids us from time to time. She raided us when we played God Hand and Kingdom Come 2. Hey.
Is this
every single time something horrible happened?
Yeah. Chat's asking if I'm a real woman. No, chat. I am a Baba Niku. Here, I'll pull it up for chat here. The easiest way to explain it is like I am one level above Rev, says Desu. But I am still a man. I'm still a man. I just like to use the female model. Some people for some reason like that more, but yeah, that is the easiest way to explain it. Is I'm just yeah.
I got pinged like 5 different suicide notes from that information alone.
Oh gosh, damn. Oh, everybody's just saying that they're used to you on your own streams and they're bewildered to see you in other places. Do you not collab with people very often?
Not really, no. I kind of like my own little bubble. You know, I stay in my own little corner.
Fair
Or
enough.
I refer to it as like the shack in the wood the redneck tells you not to go near.
Ah, fair enough. Different Lumi? Yes. Yes, chat. So LuminousCove is my genmate. She is on the Archcast, and she is the insane fish. I'm the reverse of Hana's sister from Uzaki-chan. I haven't read all of Uzaki-chan, so I can't say yes or no on that.
Oh yeah, the reveal of the sister was hilarious.
Oh really?
Yeah, she's a VTuber.
Oh, okay. I see. I getcha.
Yeah.
I getcha. But anyway, welcome tonight. I am excited because you are somebody that I've listened to off and on. I think one of the most recent things I listened to is when you were talking about Goonergate and how retarded Goonergate was, and I was just like, oh my gosh, we vibe on a spiritual level, because I like when I listened to you talk about that, I was like, holy crap, does somebody besides me just think that it's really weird that all these people are just suddenly acting all gay on the internet together? And it was really nice to feel like I was not just Alex Jones sitting alone talking about gay frogs.
Perks of paranoia.
Yeah. I'm definitely like bewildered by the fact that John De La Rosa is still going on about Kingdom Come. He just will not let it go.
Yeah, well, you know, it's once the bruised ego sets in, it's one of those of no, you have to win. You know, it's sunken cost fallacy to the extreme. He's already that deep in, therefore, just keep going.
No, yeah, and I just don't understand it. Like, legitimately, excuse me, chat. My apologies. I just want to know where like the end game for this guy is. He just like is running, and he's getting dabbed on by the game creator, and that's got to sting just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, more than that, like more and more people are starting to go like, hey, I don't trust your website anymore. I mean, he's clearly not thinking like long-term wise. He is thinking completely short terms, just moment to moment. How do I get as much money as humanly possible in the shortest amount of time?
Oh, yeah.
Because he flat out admits he's farming engagement. But, you know, it's one of those things of like, hey, when you do that, that does not mean long-term gains. That means you will get a very quick flash and then boom.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. Which is why, like, I look at this whole thing and I'm just like, man, nobody is going to remember Fandom Pulse in a couple of years if this is what you're going to do. And I really feel bad because, like, I know that Gaming Gator, does do some work for Fandom Pulse, so he writes for them occasionally. And I feel the worst for him because I know that he doesn't like being caught up in all of this shit. So, yeah. I don't know.
There's always the unfortunate casualties of it.
I agree. I don't know. I do think that the Goonergate, I even hate calling it that because it sounds retarded as well, but I think that it's all like, it's kind of simmering down. I think that all of, that they are they're running out of things to say because now that Kingdom Come is out, and shit, like I really just don't know where they go next.
Yeah, well, they'll look for the easy targets. Right now, they're dunking on Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think they're going to try to. I think they're currently trying to kick some stuff up with Monster Hunter Wilds.
I did
it's gonna
see
turn
that.
into a thing where, it's going to turn into a thing where people will just start going like, is every game release going to be judged like this? Because that will eventually reach the point of, dude, will you just shut the fuck up already?
Yeah.
And when you reach that level, there's nowhere to go but down.
Mm-hmm.
Once people start getting annoyed at even hearing it, you're done.
Oh, I agree. It's the exact same thing that happened with the left, which is why I don't try to ascribe to any political beliefs. I believe that both sides are fake and gay in terms of the culture. And it's just, I think the thing that's been really upsetting for me is I was hoping that it would take a year or two before this started happening. After Trump got in, and it happened before he got in, and I think that's what made me the most depressed.
They jumped straight into it. Yeah, like I still consider myself conservative. I mean, I literally have my gun on my hip right now as I'm talking. You know, I'm still conservative. I'll always lean on that side, but it's one of those of, you can tell the difference between somebody who became a conservative later versus someone who understands the mindset deeper, in the sense of, the issues they're trying to bring up and talk about are not things the day-to-day conservative cares about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't care about, make Christianity normal again. It's like, no, it's like, it'd be nice if there was some kind of spiritual backing to our culture, but at the same time, we understand you don't talk like a Bible thumper. You know, no one talks like that here.
Not anymore.
You know, I live in a pretty conservative area. People don't talk like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I knew it was all fake. You know, it's like, dude, the way they're talking, it's literally the over-the-top Christian character you'd see on like Family Guy. It's a parody.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it is really. Oh, what am I? It is really sad, because these people are trying to relive the '90s and the early 2000s with how they're choosing to speak. And I think what's funny is when I was talking about this the other day, I brought up a video by a creator named Chad Tronic where he was reviewing old news clips of the shit like this, where people are trying to instill panic in different types of pop cultures. And I think one was like Animal Crossing, where they were saying that there were predators on Animal Crossing, and they were showing NPCs, and they're like, these people might be the predators that we're looking for. And it's just like, bro, this isn't successful. And it only, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, you can finish it, because I was just gonna, finish it off with a point after you said that.
All I was gonna say is just like, it's not successful. And my point that I try to instill to tell people is, it creates more people on the left, and it pushes people further to the left, and creates more shit that I don't like. Because now that we have this heavy like satanic panic too that these people are trying to do, you're gonna get more people that are gonna try and create more shitty games, and it's just gonna be a back and forth, and I really just hate it.
Yeah. Well, the big thing about it, and that point especially really speaks to it, where at the end of the day, it's the same intention and same agenda, which is, I want to control your media, I want to control your culture, I want to make your choices for you. Because if you look at the arguments between like the radical Bible thumpers and the radical woke people that believe giving porn books to kids and all that, it all turns into the same exact thing, which is, you are not grown up enough to make your own choices, I will make your choices for you. And that means giving control and authority to the powers that be. I've said multiple times on my stream, the powers that be, which, just shorthand Washington, D.C., New World, or whatever your personal tyranny is, they don't have a belief system. They just have the most convenient way of stripping away more and more of your rights, more and more of your ability to make your own choices and be a grown adult in a society, because they want to make you a permanent slave to the system. They need a slave caste. They are constantly on the lookout for a slave caste.
Yep.
So what they want to do is essentially whittle by whittle, bit by bit, make people despise the idea of being in a free society. You unironically have people say we need to limit free speech because, well, not all speech is good. Free speech, what got us here in the first place? And no consideration to the fact of like, dude, the exact people you hate are trying to do the same thing. How would it be any different?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep, I agree. And I think the thing that is the most depressing is it's always the guy in the middle that is the most rational opinion. I think that You can be. I think a lot of people that are either conservative or even some people that are more left leaning. There's a lot of people that are just the guy in the middle, where they're like, bro, I just want to buy my food, I just want to do my job, and I want to go home and play some video games. And if I'm lonely, I want to enjoy my video games a little bit more. You know, it's just like, it's those guys in the middle that are the ones that suffer the most, because the people on the right and the left, they really just are going to fight till the end, and it's you that gets to suffer.
Yeah. You know, the average Joe is some guy busting his ass off in a job he hates, and all he wants to do is go home and not think about stuff for a while. He's constantly being screamed at by people with nefarious agendas that are basically screaming in his ear, no, the reason your life sucks right now is not because that's just life and life just sucks to be in. No, it's because this other guy, this group, you know, this ex-definitive, whatever you want to call it, type group is ruining your life and doing everything they can to ruin your life. And eventually, there just seems to be like a human instinct to kind of sniff out, I don't know if you want to call it fraudulence or you know, just the instinct you have when you look at a snake.
Yeah,
you start kind of noticing like, where you kind of start putting the piece together and going like, I don't think I trust you. I don't think you actually care about what I have to say and what I believe. I think you just see me as a tool, as a means to an end. And we do see that. We do see that when these controversies that don't have such definitive black and whites pop up. You know, where it's easy for something like Concord to blow up and people go like, oh yeah, no, fuck that game. That game's terrible. No one cares about that game. You know, who would ever defend that? But then you have something like KCD2 where there's a lot more of like, hey, this is more of a gray issue here. You don't go 0 to 100 on this one. And the minute people start asking questions, it turned into, well, you're a shill, well, you're a grifter, well, you're this, you're that. Like it wasn't just, well, I disagree. It's flat out, no, I need you out of the conversation and for people to not listen to you.
I agree. I think the thing that, because as somebody, I grew up in a family where it was, I would say, a little bit more left-leaning, and as I grew up, I became a little bit more conservative. And I think the thing that kind of smacks me away from being as full hard-on conservative as I see some people is paying attention to the Daily Wire. Because I actually started following the Daily Wire for a little while, and I was like, oh, you know, Ben Shapiro, he's kind of funny, he's kind of kooky, I'll listen to him. And then I started listening to Matt Walsh, and I was like, you know what, Matt Walsh is okay. But then I started to see how he demonized pop culture, and I'm like, okay, there is nothing to be gained here. All of these people are just as bad as the people on the left. I am just going to stay in my own lane and follow my pop culture people that I like, because there's nobody on the right or left that actually care. And it was kind of depressing, because it's just like, these people want to these people want to get an audience and build a movement, but they don't know who they're actually like advertising to. There we go. Sorry, it's been a long day. They don't know who they're advertising to. And so I think that, unfortunately, that's just going to lead to these movements fading out quickly. I think unironically, the one of the reasons why I believe that Trump won is because of his son. I don't know what you think about that, but I do believe that his son, I think it was Barron, is one of the big reasons.
Yeah, no, I fully agree, because there was stuff coming out where like Barron was the one that suggested he go on Joe Rogan. Barron was the one that suggested he did more like live stream appearances. Like Barron being as young as he is, like I remember when that kid was like a fucking pipsqueak. Like
I do too. Yeah, that guy was tiny.
Now he's like now he's like a Nephilim made flesh. You know, that kind of thing. Like he's huge. But yeah, he was the one. Like I think him being as young as he was, growing up the time he is with the landscape he was in, did help him like get his dad to understand like, hey, pop culture is powerful. You know, everyone always talks about it. Politics are downstream from culture. You know, it's not the other way around, which these recent revelations, to kind of foreshadow a little bit, recent revelations of government money being used to forcibly change culture didn't understand that. Like you cannot force people to like something and adjust their taste. You can force a few. You can force the crazies. You can force the people that have too much time on their hands. The guys who can't get out of their own head, the women who are shrieking harpies. You can get that small minority, but at the end of the day, the average Joe does not think about politics 24/7. Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
So if you're able to sell it as a relatable thing, and like this guy understands what I like, he understands the way I live, he understands my interests, that makes it a lot easier to sell. You know, the problem with like the woke side and the crazy psycho side is the fact that they couldn't get out of the 90s and the 2000s. You know, they unironically were hyped whenever they saw a trailer for Jack Black, you know, that kind of thing. It's like, dude, it's been like 20 years since then. Times have changed, you know, mindsets have changed. The media landscape as a whole has changed. It is one of those where Barron, I think, is the direct reason Trump won as hard as he did, because he was able to sell to people that Trump is capable of looking like a normal guy. Whether or not he actually is one, that's up for debate. And let's be honest here, he's a billionaire that's been a billionaire for like 30 years. He probably does not exactly shop at Walmart.
Probably not.
But he was able to look like he cared about you. He was able to look like he cared about your mindset and all that.
I would say the moment that I watched him serve fries at a McDonald's, I was like, you know what? If he can stoop that low and still be a billionaire, maybe he cares a little bit more than the other side.
Exactly. The fact he was even willing to not just show up and take photos, but physically like grab the tools and put the fries in the bag.
It's just like, have you ever done that before, bro? Probably. That's the thing that like got me. I was like, he has never done this before, and there he is doing it, and it looked like he was genuinely having fun too.
Yeah. The crew all loved him. Like they were all laughing and smiling with him.
But anyway, great segue, by the way, when you talk about how government funded money funds these programs to try and change people's minds. I do appreciate this preamble here, because again, I think that one of the things that's really important to me when I talk about culture and how important it is that we I've started to become a really big fan of gatekeeping and keeping people out that don't deserve to break bread with us. And I'm noticing this more and more, especially in the VTuber community. And I'm noticing this in a minor bit in the lolly community, at least on Twitter, where not only do you have to keep out the antis, but there's just some people that will try and sneak in there as a snake and try and break down good things, or at least things that like can be left alone. And I think it's important to not forget that. So,
and I'm getting old.
Yeah.
You know, like and back in my day, the lolly community was called an elementary school. But I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I had to go for it.
Yeah. Oh goodness, you're great. You're fantastic. I eat lollies for breakfast. Oh dear. Well, I'll keep.
Yeah, don't say that in public.
Of course not. Of course not. Oh. Anyway. Anyway. So one of the things that I have actually liked that Trump has done is this transparency move that he's pulling. Well, that Elon Musk is pulling with his Doge. I hate calling it that, but with his Doge company, or like branch of the government, with his Doge branch.
They 100% named it Doge on purpose too. You just know for a fact,
dude. As somebody with autism, and I know that with Elon Musk with autism, I know for a fact that he thought for multiple hours how he could name something Doge, because that's how that man thinks. He's very into calling things with letters. Like I just figured out the other day, like the naming of the Tesla models and what the naming of the Tesla models means. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And he thinks about it so hard. So
it looks at old like something awful posts and tries to get names from there.
Something like that. And so one of the things that I've actually been happy with is the transparency that we've seen with where some of the government money has been going. And have you actually looked on usaspending.gov at all?
A few. Yeah, like I've seen the feminist frequency money where they got like $6 in taxpayer money, which as soon as I saw that I was like, that's not a real number. You don't get $6 worth of tax money if you're getting tax money at all.
Fair enough. But yeah, so like I did a stream last week where I was like, you know what? We're just gonna look into government spending. I want to see what's been spent. I initially was like, let's look at USA, but then I noticed we should broaden it a little bit and just look at how much money is being spent overall in the whole government. And one that I thought about going back to was somebody had showed me there was a tag for Gamergate in usaspending.gov. And of course, always chat the eternal Gamergate word that will come and go and will probably never die when Daddy Jim eventually passes. But Gamergate was one of the words that was mentioned. And here, I'm actually going to I'll pop up my screen here for you. And when it popped up, it was attached to this company here. Let me pull up the actual it'll load here. This is a government website, obviously, so it is slow as fuck here. But it popped up one of the results that popped up was a grant for this company called Moonshot CVE. And the awards description is that Moonshot was proposing a 2-year research program that was targeting that wanted to look at terrorism and targeted violent it's terrorism and targeted violence research and the evaluation notice of funding so they were looking for money to research online terrorism, basically.
I think they took that Law and Order episode a little too seriously.
Oh my gosh, yes. I eventually need to do a watch along of that episode. That was a fantastic episode. But
it is amazing.
It was fantastic. But so they outlined in this a bunch of different buzzwords, and some of the big ones was 4chan, Telegram, Gab, Stormfront, just a whole bunch of these different websites. That it's just like, oh, I know of these websites, especially 8kun. It's like, oh man, it takes you back a little bit. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's really crazy that Gamergate is mentioned on a government website, which is something that everybody knew was an actual thing. Oh my gosh, why does it do this? Again, I hate government websites. I used to work for USPS. Even that probably works faster than this. But I was like, okay, who is Moonshot CVE? And so, I looked at first. They were awarded almost $2 million for over 3 different transactions. I was like, okay, who is Moonshot CVE? And so I looked it up. And I found a website. And I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe we'll do some research. We'll look into what this is. And what I found was some of the craziest amount of autism ever. So I'll just go to their about section here. I feel like this is fantastic here. And I'm going to show you their LinkedIn. I'm going to show you some of their posts. The owner of this website even has a TED Talk talking about, I believe it was misinformation when it comes to the medical field. But their story, here, I'll read this here. It says, we founded Moonshot in 2015 to build online solutions for one of the most pressing challenges facing communities around the world, terrorism. Our experience working with governments, tech companies, and communities reveal a major gap in the approach to this deadly problem. The lessons learned in addressing the underlying drivers of terrorism offline simply weren't being applied effectively online, where extremist propagandists and recruiters continue to prey on vulnerable individuals. We knew we needed to build better tech to apply those lessons well. Moonshot has since expanded the scope of online threats that we tackle. Today we build technology to identify, disrupt, organized crime, child sexual exploitation, which is kind of an important one, and trafficking, among other forms of violent abuse. As a social impact, we reinvest in research and development to further our mission, building evidence for new methodologies and regularly pushing the boundaries of our tech. Our team is made up of some of the most impressive people we've ever known, expert analysts, software developers, and a wide range of backgrounds and decades of experience in the government, science, and technology. So it doesn't sound like that. Like off the bat, it doesn't really sound that bad because, as they say, they're targeting child sexual exploitation and trafficking, and it's like that sounds like a noble cause for the most part. But then I got into their LinkedIn, and their LinkedIn is where I found some of the crazy, it is really good stuff here. Let me see. Let me scroll. There was one post. Oh, here's one. No. Come on. I hate LinkedIn as well. Where is it? Yeah. I know that they had another post about the Olympics that I really liked. Let me scroll down to it. No, it's not that one. Did they recently update? Oh, okay. It's not on the actual page here. Give me one moment. Again, I apologize. It is late, and I've had these pages loaded for over a week.
It's all good.
Here it is. Okay, so this was 2 months ago, and Moonshot made a post about the Olympics here, and it's all about women. So they say women in public life are more likely to experience digital violence. When I read digital violence, I had to look up violence because I wanted to go on a tangent about violence, and I learned that violence is a mostly physical thing, but I guess digital violence is like a thing that people are talking about now. They rely...
the emotionally charged, like, smear word, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I was like, wait a minute. Is digital violence a real thing? And I guess it depends. We just call that cyberbullying here. They rely... Yeah. It says they rely on social media platforms to engage with their fans, honor sponsorships, and publicity commitments, and celebrate their success. But for many, the cost of engaging online is becoming too high. Female athletes are at the forefront of this, experience hate speech, doxing, and AI-generated deepfakes, posing an increasing threat to their safety and well-being. World Athletes has highlighted that 87% of all abuse at the Tokyo Games were targeted at female athletes. Moonshot's work to protect specific athletes at the Paris Olympic 2024 identified similar trends. Some of these are kind of funny here. Actually, I'll open up this image because this image it pretty much says exactly here. So 60% of intimate image abuse cases targeted female athletes, which I'll be honest with you, that's pretty much wrong. I agree that's wrong. Over 2,200 instances of hate speech used speech against a sample of athletes. The most targeted group were overwhelmingly female athletes of color, and 96% of posts containing sex-based conspiracy theories were targeted at cisgender. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Were targeted at cisgender women.
All right, not to be an asshole, but like, if over 96% of the athletes are getting those kind of posts, at that point, kind of have to start asking the question of, well, at what point is that your fault? Maybe you should just put on some makeup a little bit, you know?
I'm going to be honest with you. And I said this last week. I don't really pay attention to a lot of sports, especially the Olympics. Just because it's not really my thing. I'm much more of a doing person than a watching person. But like, I don't know. This whole thing was pretty crazy to read. And they end off each one of their posts is ended off with hashtag 16 days of activism, because activism only lasts for 16 days. Hashtag no excuse and hashtag end violence.
For 16 days, we'll fight to the last man for you. But after that, man, you're on your own.
Yeah, and that's like every single one of their posts. I think the one that like got me the most. Let's see. Oh, here's the one that I found that like got me the most. So this is this is targeted to a specific country here. So this starts off by saying nearly 40% of women globally report to experiencing tech-facilitated gender-based violence. And that's a new acronym that I have never heard before right there. They even made it like a cute little acronym here, ranging from sexualized online harassment to threats to life. We need to be able to reach people online in their moment of need with practical resources to help identify, report, and protect against tech-facilitated gender-based violence. That's quite a mouthful.
Yeah, they love their weird nonsense terms.
They do. Today, we're spotlighting digital campaigns to combat tech-facilitated gender-based violence for United Nations 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence. Moonshot is currently working to support survivors and bystanders of tech-facilitated gender-based violence in Guatemala online. Very specific in Guatemala. To date,
what the hell's happening in Guatemala?
I will be honest, as a filthy American, I don't really study a lot of other countries that much. I don't know how much. I know that Guatemala is. Are they a third world country? This is something I probably should have looked up because I probably sound like a hyper bigot right now. But I don't.
It's like a chunk of Mexico. I don't know if it's actually part of Mexico or it's considered its own territory, but it's part of Mexico.
Yes. Let's see. What does Google say? All of Latin America is considered. Okay, so yeah, it is considered a third world country. Someone is padding the word count. Yes, it is. But yeah. So apparently, they wanted to help people in Guatemala learn about tech-facilitated gender-based violence. When, in my personal opinion, they probably don't really care that much about what happens online. Excuse me. It's the country directly south of Mexico. Okay, thank you. Geography class was awful. Yes, chat. I'll be honest with you. I'm glad to have remembered almost all of the 50 states. Today, we're spotlighting digital campaigns to combat tech-facilitated gender-based violence for United Nations 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence. Moonshot is currently working to support survivors in Guatemala online. Today, we have reached 2 million YouTube and Facebook users in Guatemala with vital information on how to spot and reject tech-facilitated gender-based violence. Our campaign explains different... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, like, they're putting a lot of emphasis on Guatemala. Like, it's like the only country that's happening in.
Yeah. Like, maybe I should do more research into it, but part of me is like, is Guatemala okay? If you are from Guatemala, I know I have a decent chunk of people in chat tonight. If you're from Guatemala, please let me know if you are okay tonight. Because it sounds like women down there, because I'm pretty sure they are specifically only talking to women down there. Apparently they are having issues. Excuse me, not all women. 40% of women globally. So that might be even higher in Guatemala, higher or lower. I don't know. Our campaign explains the different forms of tech-facilitated gender-based violence, the mental health and physical impact of these forms of violence, and the silencing effect they have on women, with calls to action for people who can safely speak out. Offering online resources over... And now this is a typo, because they say they offer resources 20,000 times, but in this picture they say they offer it over 200,000 times. So I'm not quite sure which is accurate there.
No, it's the 20,000. They're like, oh, no. That was first-time buyers. Now it's... We're getting more picky. Exactly. Exactly. So I'm not quite sure which one they actually offered here, but they're offering support to people that experience tech-facilitated gender-based violence. And then they say they've partnered with this company here. I believe is a Guatemala. I did look it up. I believe this is like a Guatemalan company. Ipandetic is. I believe it's like some little Guatemalan company there on this initiative. So that was that is them supporting women in Guatemala, or at least 40%, because only 40% of women globally suffer from this. Someone in chat says, "I know of Guatemala. I've met women, and I have cyberbullied. Where's my $2 million?" Oh, knowing the way Hispanic women usually are, a chick from Guatemala he'd probably be the one trying to kill you more than anyone else. Possibly. I feel like I might need help against women in Guatemala. Maybe I'll be suffering the gender-based tech violence against them. I wasn't going to say gender-based tech violence. Just no, there's straight-up violence. They have AKs. Mm-hmm. I keep mistaking Guatemala for Guantanamo. I mean, there is about to be some women and children and maybe men in Guantanamo. Maybe. So you could be correct still. The new Ellis Island, boys. Oh gosh, I was kind of surprised when I heard that. I'm interested in Guatemala right now. But this is basically all of their posts. There was one in here. Let me see if I can get the page to load, because for whatever reason, LinkedIn is slow to load when you get to the bottom of the page. They have one on oh, here it is. So they have one on Spotify as well, and this made me wonder, like, because did Joe Rogan recently say that he'd been having some issues with Spotify? I don't listen to him a lot, but I swear I had heard somebody mention that he was having some issues with how Spotify was treating him. Yeah, this was like a year, maybe 2 years ago now. It was when he was talking about like COVID stuff, and Spotify tried to drop him over that. Okay. And the only reason I bring that up is this company mentions that they are now part, as of 4 months ago, a part of Spotify's Safety Advisory Council. And I don't know if anybody has ever heard of that before, but they mention here that the council's mission is to help Spotify evolve its policies and products into a safe way while making sure they respect creator expression and striking a balance similar to our own, working to end online harms, applying evidence, ethics, and human rights. I'm just imagining the meme with like the fat guy with the ninja sword, and he's going, "Leave the Guatemalan women alone." Yes. My lady, we must rescue the Guatemalan women. I can get a sexy Latina if I do this. Exactly. The agent won't come for me, so I must go for the sexy Latino women. Excuse me, the Latinx women. That's what they go by now. Oh goodness, you might actually get bullied by a Latino woman if you call her that. Actually, if I think now that I'm thinking about it. No, trust me, I'm fully aware. You don't call them that. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows about Spotify's Safety Advisory Council. Oh, good. I'm glad that people know about it. Because I had never heard of it, and I was like, oh gosh, is that like a new secret thing that nobody has heard of before? But I'm glad that people know of that. But like, I found that kind of crazy. So these people are on Spotify as well. I
And I'm trying to find where the post is, but they had a post where they were talking, I think it might have been this one, where they talked about how Trump's assassination attempt was actually just part of a mass shooting attempt. And I thought that was pretty wild, that they were trying to reclassify what had happened.
Yeah, that's one of those of kind of tipping your hand there a little bit.
Yeah. It was that one was like really insane to me. And I'm trying to scroll down here because before we get to the document that they made, was it this? No, it wasn't this. I'm trying to find it because here it is. No, it's not that one. I have to keep going here. But they made a document talking again about extremism in video game communities, and I want to find and read the post before we actually get to it. Nope, not that one. They've made a lot of them. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this was 8 months ago. And I believe that when we talk about Moonshot researching video game or just like extremism and for some reason mentioning Gamergate, I believe that in part this contributed to this. So, new report out today on quote extremism across the online gaming ecosystem, produced in partnership with the European Commission. So this is produced in part by Europe. The nexus between violent extremism and online gaming remains a pressing issue for policymakers, law enforcement, and platforms. Our report investigates right-wing extremists and violent incel recruitment and radicalization in public spaces across the online gaming ecosystem. We conducted qualitative and quantitative, my gosh, using the big words here, analysis across gaming spaces on Discord, 4chan, Gamer Uprising, and Incel.is and Steam. Now, I don't know if you've heard of Gaming Uprising. I know I asked you if you heard about Incel.is, but like I've never heard of Gamers Uprising as a website.
I have never heard that in my life.
And because like I know that there is a video game board on 4chan where people go and talk about video games. I know that on Discord it is, people are on Discord and talk about video games all the time. I assume that Gamers Uprising is going to be about video games. And then Incel.is. And I feel terrified to even go on that website. I tried finding it, and I was like, I really don't want to put this on my internet search terms. But I assume that they talk about video games on there, and then they also mention Steam. Very, very wide swath, in my personal opinion, when it talks about gamers. And their findings. And again, we'll go through. This is a 30-page document. Where is it? Here. This is a 30-page document, and we'll skim through it. But their findings say that some of this will definitely make you laugh. Their findings state sandbox games and mods are often exploited by users to enact violent fantasies and construct alternative realities aligned to their extremist views.
Yes, I play Grand Theft Auto as well.
Yeah. Coordinated harassment campaigns are used to threaten members of online gaming communities that are perceived as, quote, out groups.
Yes, I play Call of Duty.
I'm wondering if they only sat in COD lobbies for this.
Yeah.
Extremist communities primarily congregate within pre-existing gaming forums rather than creating their own bespoke communities. And notable events in the gaming world, like the announcement of new game releases, coincide with peaks in extremist discussions and threats of violence in gaming-related spaces. And they say you can check out the full report. And this full report, like I said, is some of the craziest shit. And like the entire time I was reading this, I was thinking to myself, is this people that are actually taking it seriously? Or are these people that are just trying to waste money for the sake of wasting money?
Yeah, which we've seen. That's a lot of the USAID stuff is just wasting money on these bullshit programs that don't actually do anything.
Yeah. And
or who knows, maybe we're wrong and they consider Asmongold to be their Osama bin Laden.
It's possible. It's definitely very possible. So while we go through this, I want chat and obviously us to just figure out if these people are actually serious or if they are like just trying to get money. Because again, they are it even says on the document, funded by the European Union, and it shows the grant number. So they got a lot of money for this, probably. I don't know. I really don't care about how much money the European Union gives away, but this is crazy. TF2 radicalized me into being a communist. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh. So first page says, warning, this report contains references to violent extremism, including threats of violence that readers may find distressing.
It's a government report. What are you doing making a trigger warning for it?
After seeing some people in government offices, maybe they do need trigger warnings. Some may need more than others.
A good point.
Some may need more than others, unfortunately. Now, I am going to have to omit some words in here because there are some words in here that YouTube and Twitch definitely will not like. In this overview here, quote, the nexus between violent extremism and online gaming has been a pressing issue among researchers, policymakers, and law enforcement agencies for some time. Violent perpetrators, like these individuals that I will not mention, used video games to prepare for their attacks. And then another individual that I will not mention live streamed his attack mirroring the style of a first-person shooter games or, quote, let's play videos. Extremists have also used gaming platforms to disseminate propaganda, radicalize, or recruit others, and have created and altered video games to share their ideologies. So modding video games is very dangerous.
Yeah.
The gamification of extremist discourse, including threats of violence, has also allowed extremists to mask or trivialize their violent intentions towards others. However, online gaming communities and certain game genres, such as first-person shooter games, have been disproportionately stigmatized as a result of these events. So they recognize that first-person games are unfortunately looked in a bad light because of all of these evil, mean people that go commit crimes.
Well, the funny part about that is that's basically just Call of Duty is like military propaganda that you heard in like 2005 or so, or around the time like Modern Warfare came out, where it's like, oh, it's prepping people to become soldiers and all that.
Yeah.
I have games like Disco Elysium, which was made by like avowed communists, and they outright admitted communism influenced the game. Obviously, you play Disco Elysium, it's a lot deeper than that.
Yeah.
But like, that's expressly making a video game with the purpose of sharing ideology.
Yeah.
But no mention of that. I'm going to take a bet there's not going to be any mention of that in this.
I've only read a couple of these pages because I wanted to leave most of my impressions for a stream where I could read the rest of it. But yeah. They for the most part, at least for the first like 15 pages that I read, they focus more on the places where they did their study, which again is just some of the places they did their studies is just bizarre to me.
Yeah, it's just going to be mass market multiplayer games. Like, I'm fully betting on that.
Anyway, let's continue. It continues by saying, online gaming community... Let's see. Have I already read... I've already read that. Given the distinctive and complex radicalization journey of each individual, it can be difficult to identify drivers of radicalization that are unique to the online gaming ecosystem, which itself is highly complex and a variable space. Large-scale, data-driven studies can help us better understand how violent extremism manifests within gaming communities and online-related platforms. This research investigates the prevalence of extreme right-wing, or ERW for short, and incel content in gaming spaces across the online gaming ecosystem. It focuses on key extremist narratives, themes, the role of games, and influential voices, as well as the recruitment and radicalization. This really makes it sound like they went really deep into the internet to try and find some horrible people, like the scariest of the scary people on the extreme right wing.
All I'm imagining is like some like deep undercover Fed going into like an incel forum and going like, guys, we totally hate sex, right? We hate sex, right?
That's very possible. I don't know if they show any messages. They definitely show where they sent messages, but I don't know if they ever show them. We'll see as we go through here. The report features qualitative and quantitative analysis of extremist content across gaming spaces on Discord, 4chan, and by the way, that means that they joined specific Discord servers. So chat, fun fact, if you are in big general Discord servers, some of these people may be in them right now. Excuse me. Discord, 4chan, Gamer Uprising, which again I've never heard of, Incel.is, and Steam. Consequently, content that is not extremist in nature is outside the scope of analysis. The research focused on English language content, which means that they didn't study other languages that may potentially also have extremist content in it. An overview of the data source analysis for each platform can be found in the graph in the next page. For a full methodology, please refer to the appendix at the end of this report. So this is the image that I took for the thumbnail. This shows what they analyzed and the time of which they analyzed it. So On Discord, they analyzed 34 channels, and I'm assuming that means individual channels and individual servers across 21 gaming-related servers, and they don't mention which gaming-related servers. And they analyzed over 24 million posts. On Gamers Uprising, they apparently looked at the entire platform, which, since there's only 27,000 posts, it's probably very tiny. On if that's actually the image for Incel.is, where it's just a lonely guy with his hands in his pocket, that's really depressing. Holy shit. They need Jordan Peterson.
I feel bad for that man.
They need Jordan Peterson in their lives. They need to go pick up their bedroom.
Get that man a copy of A Silent Voice right now.
Oh, man. And on Incel.is, gaming-related discourse across 2 main discussion forums, 22,000 posts. On 4chan, they focused on 6 gaming-related focused discussion boards and 39 million posts. And on Steam, this is the only place with manual viewing and assessment. They focused on 25 discussion forums and groups. So we'll move on here. And this is the table of contents, chat. Some of these are very beautiful. It's all RimWorld. So we've already gone through the platform. Well, actually, I believe that we're going on to the platform overview after key findings here. Well, they go through all of the different platforms. We have extremist narratives and themes, influential voices and groups. That one I'm going to be very excited to get to. The role of games, recruitment and radicalization, and then the conclusion. Yeah. Oh boy. So the key findings here is really good here. So key findings. My apologies. It's just really funny to read through this again. Oh yeah. Racist and anti-LGBTQ slurs are frequently employed by users to address one another. These people have never worked in a shop before. Yeah. I must ask, have you ever worked in a warehouse or a shop before?
Oh, yeah. Like, I've worked at a ton of different jobs, and I come from a military family, so I'm well aware of the way people address each other. Yeah, so there was a brief period when I lived in Texas last year where I worked in a warehouse, and it was a majority of Latino people. There was a couple of black people, and there was a couple of Asians in there. All of them hung slurs at them all day. And because I was one of the lighter-skinned people, they initially left me alone because they weren't quite sure what to do with me. But then when one of the Asian guys who I was friends with said, "Oh no, he's cool. You can say whatever you want about him." And then they were just like waiting for me to say something, because again, when you have a white guy in the field, when you have a whole bunch of other people, they're just like they're waiting for it because they think it's funny. And so yeah, they're like, "Can you say the word?" I was like, I don't feel safe saying that. What do you mean? They're like, "Why are you crowding around me? What do you want me to say?" They're like, "Can you say this?" And I was like, "I don't feel comfortable right now." It's like, "Sir, are you fed?" Oh, fuck. So, it says, anti-black racism or anti-alphabet language featured in 986,000 posts, or 86% of all extremist posts on 4chan, which does make a lot. You know what? I can believe that. Almost 1 million posts on 80% of the posts that they reviewed on 4chan. I believe that. Yeah, no, that one's just factual. That is very factual. For some reason, they don't show Incel.is. Maybe the whole platform is just radical and full of anti-black racism on there. Maybe it's just like one guy there, and he's the only guy posting with them. Possible, very possible. 13,000 posts, or 80% of all extremist posts on Discord that they viewed, and 1,000 posts, or 61% of all of the extremist posts on Gamers Uprising. Criticism of, quote, woke gaming can act as a gateway into the extremist ecosystem, often evolving into anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. I forgot, I'm gonna have to be careful with this too. Across platforms, user frustration with perceived, quote, woke gaming culture frequently featured anti-Semitic sentiment and was coupled with racist, anti-alphabet, and misogynistic language. I'm surprised they didn't look at Twitter for any of this, or maybe they did and they realized, oh, that's just way too much to go through. Like, listen, if we try to calculate Twitter, our computers will catch fire. That's very true. Very, very true. In channeling their inner low-tier god, very accurate. I think when I read this the last time, somebody said that, so it was very accurate. Mainstream gaming personalities involved in controversies are frequently discussed. Users justified controversies surrounding popular streamers like XQC by claiming that they are targeted by... I can't say that. I am not saying that.
by religious elites for being successful white men. I want to know where they saw. I really want to read some of these posts because they were probably really funny.
Yeah, it's like I've not heard a single person in my entire life defend XQC.
I think he's just the safe option for them to use. I don't know. I wish they would have used Asmongold. That would have been perfect. Asmongold is the perfect one for them to use.
That's that Asmongold, but he's like photoshopped into like the Osama bin Laden picture.
Yes, I think I've seen that before. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So, coordinated harassment campaigns are used to mobilize the, quote, in-group and threaten members of the online gaming community that are perceived as the, quote, out-group. Raids were used by extremist communities to coordinate harassment and intimidation against alphabet individuals or women for enjoyment or, quote, punishment. Definitely got to get with
someone would like punishment. Don't kink shame.
Oh, exactly. Listen, chat, we really got to up it in here. The anti-alphabet individuals really got to be bullied here. This is a joke, by the way, because the enjoyment levels of everybody in the chat is like very down. All right, so we gotta up it a little bit in here. Sandbox games and mods are often exploited by users to enact violent fantasies and construct alternative realities aligned to their extremist views. We already read that a little bit, but it says that women and black people were constant targets of violent fantasies as a form of entertainment in sandbox games, such as, and I very surprising, GTA and Red Dead Redemption 2. Two video games where, yes, you can kill anybody that you want, and it is encouraged for you to do whatever you want.
Well, okay, there. That one I will have to, like, I can't throw stones from a glass house there. I've gone on rampages in those games that can get downright discriminatory. I'm gonna be honest with you. Everybody, at least once in their life, has said, you know what? I think I want to kill all the NPCs in the game because that would be funny. I swear, at least once, I'm just like, that would be because I don't know, it's just fun. Well, I mean, yeah, like Red Dead 2 lets you feed people to a gator.
I forgot about that. I need to continue playing Red Dead. Holy fuck. Oh, gosh. Notable events in the gaming world, like the Game Awards or release of new games such as GTA 6, correlate with peaks in extremist discussions and threats of violence in gaming-related spaces. Following the 2023 Game Awards on December 8th, extremist discourse on 4chan increased by 42%. Following the release of the GTA 6 trailer on the 5th of December, extremist discourse on Incel.is increased by 492%, with violent threats on 4chan increasing by 81%. I think GTA, that's the one that hasn't come out yet. That's the one where there's a female that's the main protagonist, right?
Yeah, it's the Bonnie and Clyde one.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, listen, I'm just going to be honest. There's always going to be those people that just don't, that are going to act like that. I don't know what you expect. And I'm pretty sure a lot of them don't care.
I guarantee you some of the context behind those are some guy going like, man, I swear to God, fuck that game if they want to include shark cards and like a main mechanic, you know. I'm fully expecting it's taking something kind of benign and blowing it up to be as bad as possible. It is.
It definitely is. And that's where you like have to look at this and be like, okay, if a normal person reads this, they're going to think that all of these places are scary death traps. And if you let your child go into it, they're going to like, they're going to basically join a gang. But like, that's not it at all. Like, most of these people are just being edgy to be edgy, and like they're not going to be edgy IRL, or they're just joking because they want to be funny. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's the internet.
Yeah. GTA 6 is going to be nuts, and I'm open for it. I just hope it doesn't cost $100. I just
want it to not suck. That's all I want. I just want it to not suck.
I would like for it to not suck too. But I am slightly worried, but I'm still going to hold out hope.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard of half of these places. Well, chat, I agree. I have not heard of some of these places either. So which is why it just feels like they're picking at straws to try and get these conversations going, because they're choosing some niche internet places that the wider internet will never ever touch. Like, I don't know if anybody in here, press 1, chat, if you've heard of Incel.is before today, because I definitely didn't before I read this at all.
No, see, they can't admit they know about it because then they'll admit they'll browse it.
Oh, you know what? That is a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Like, no, I can't be the guy going, oh, yeah, no, I browse there all the time. Like, damn it, no.
I didn't even think about that. Anyway, let's move on here. So this is going over the platform overview. We're going to skip past this because it just talks about what each different platform is, just talking about what the different platforms and a little bit of knowledge and background information of them. Although the Incel one...
Discord's team.
Yeah, let's talk about the Incel one. The Incel one, I'm interested to see what they say about the Incel one. This is probably going to be way more funny than it needs to be. Incel.is is the largest and most active online forum for self-identified incels. It was created in 2017 following the ban of a prominent incel space on platforms like Reddit, and it's since become one of the main social platforms for the incel community. I did not know there was a community for those kinds of people. Holy cow. As of May 2024, the platform contains over 540,000 threads with 12 million posts and has over 25,000 members. That's a decent chunk of... That's like a city's worth of people. A significant increase from 17,000 in 2022. On average, it has over 1.6 million monthly visits and over 400,000 unique monthly visitors. Incels.is features a small number of highly active forums, mainly the lounge and inceldom discussion, where users can engage with each other via discussion threads. Most threads are tagged with specific labels such as cope or gaming to give users an indication of the thread's theme. My gosh, this just sounds like so edgy and boring.
And it kind of just sounds like any other forum.
Yeah, like it sounds like, again, it sounds like a forum, but with the word incel like slapped right across it. I don't know. I'm very bored. I will never go there because it sounds very boring. They're Reddit rejects. Yes.
Yeah, I was expecting like one of the big ones to be called like, here's how we mass murder women.
Maybe we'll get there. I don't know. Oh gosh, damn. Let's see here. Okay, so here's one that I read that was interesting. Extremist narratives and themes. This section provides an overview of the most prevalent or pertinent extremist narratives identified on the monitored platforms, including violent extremist discourse. Users across the online gaming ecosystem express extremist sentiment in their posts through images, videos, text, and by sharing external links, including game-related artwork or screenshots. A wide range of extremist narratives are shared across platforms, including anti-black racism, anti-alphabet sentiment, anti-Semitism, and misogyny. Users express these narratives in gaming-specific and non-gaming related discourse. So they are showing here that the kind of extremism goes up depending on specific events. So I've never heard of GamesCon, but I guess there was a spike of anti-black racism and anti-black racism during GamersCon 2023. And
yeah, I do not know much about that event to even try to describe that.
Yeah, which is why I'm kind of confused that they even mentioned it in the first place, because this is something that I've never. It could be like an EU thing, and I would not know. They also show that the GTA 6 trailer release, and for some reason there's a little bit of anti-Asian in there as well. There's a lot of anti-black racism during GTA's release and during the Game Awards. And there was a shit ton of anti-alphabet during the Game Awards of 2023? Yeah, so that was the year before last. What happened during, do you remember what was announced during that Game Awards besides GTA 6?
No, nothing off the top of my head.
Oh my gosh, here. You know what, chat, I'm gonna look it up. Game Awards.
But yeah, beyond GTA 6, like, because most of it was just like rumor stuff of like, I think they showed off a little bit more of MGS Delta.
It was Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
And Baldur's Gate, but it was Alan Wake 2 that was I think that probably was one of the big reasons, because I think they changed the main protagonist in Alan Wake 2 and everybody hated it.
Yeah, Saga was black in 2 instead of based off the chick from X-Files.
Yeah. Yup, that was it. That probably was. There was a game Sweet Baby worked on. I would have to know the name, but I would believe it personally. I would definitely believe it, because that was back when Sweet Baby Inc. was starting to get a lot of steam as well. Oh my goodness, yeah. Was 2023 the Bill Clinton one? No, that was 2022, I believe. 2023 was the year of Please Hurry Up and Get Off the Stage, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so this is talking about the increases of extremist stuff. So increases in extremist discord occur in response to mainstream events in the gaming community, potentially exposing larger audiences to extremist narratives. Notable peaks in extremist sentiment were observed on 4chan, Discord, and Incel.is in connection with events such as the 2023 Game Awards, the release of the GTA 6 trailer and the August 2023 Games Fair. We already talked about this, but it mentions that there was a 42% increase compared to averages recording in the previous 6 months of the extremist discourse on 4chan, and there was a subsequent 492% increase in extremist sentiment compared to averages recorded over the previous 6 months following the GTA 6 trailer. It's just like, again, I want to see some examples of this. At the point I stopped, which we're coming up on, they didn't show any examples of it. So I really hope that they show some of this.
Yeah. See, their big mistake with this study is they assume V actually plays games.
Yeah. Oh. Use of racist, anti-black, and anti-alphabet slurs are normalized. 86% of extremist posts across, and one thing that I noticed is they use the word extremist post all the time. I'm not quite sure what an extremist post counts as. It's like when you say what hate speech, and it's just like, okay, what is hate speech? How do you identify what hate speech is? And it's just like, I don't know. So I don't know what an extremist post is.
Yeah, they keep the definition vague on purpose because then that can apply to literally anything, and they can plump up the numbers.
It does make me think, like, are they talking about the entire thing? Are they talking about these in the entire boards? Like I don't know. So it literally could mean anything, chat. There literally could just be 100 posts and 86% of them sucked. Users frequently referred to each other employing terms commonly used to target black people or members of the alphabet community. In smaller volume, these slurs were also directed at members of the gaming community, such as game developers. The use of such slurs is prevalent across many online gaming communities, in particular massive multiplayer online games, MMOs. Their users reflect a hostile culture within these spaces, where users often play against each other and attain community status by degrading or defeating others in-game. The use of such derogatory terms, therefore, may not reflect... I feel like they're like over a decade late to this conversation, because this happened way early in the 2010s, or even in the early 2000s when it came to COD lobbies.
Oh yeah, like that's basically what this issue's been time and time again. It's just repackaging the same talking points into something new. Where it's like, oh, there's extremism in online multiplayer games. Like, yeah, I heard about that when Halo was getting big, when Call of Duty was getting big, when Counter-Strike was getting big.
Yeah. I do think it's funny that they basically say, all these people say slurs against each other and we don't understand it. Yeah, it's because these people are stupid. And they're boys playing video games, or sometimes girls are even worse. It's kind of scary.
Nothing's more terrifying than playing Black Ops as a 12-year-old and some Russian lady screaming her head off at you.
Yeah, no, I agree. Remember Bully Hunters? Yes. It's considerably tamer now. Well, it's had to become more tamer because they'll get banned from the games if they don't.
That's why everyone's just in party chats now.
Pretty much, or in Discord. However, it demonstrates how normalized derogatory language is in these spaces, which may desensitize users to more extremist... So what they're saying here is because people keep saying the N-word all the time, you are desensitized to more extremist views. If you say the N-word, you're going to become a Nazi. That's what they're saying right here.
The Boondocks created the new Reich.
Oh, gosh, yes. I'm going to have to be careful with this one. Anti-Semitic conspiracies are frequently employed by users in discussion of woke gaming. Across platforms, users claim that, quote, woke changes in the games industry were, quote, orchestrated by specific religious elites whose aim is to destroy white heterosexual Western culture, while the broader debate about perceived wokeism in gaming is not extremist in nature. Extremist communities frequently hijack this debate, employing anti-Semitic memes and rhetoric to claim that a globalist Jewish conspiracy is orchestrating these changes. This discourse often features anti-alphabet, racist, and misogynistic narratives. Users employed anti-Semitic slurs when discussing the new alphabet storylines are prominent non-white characters in games such as Baldur's Gate 3, where I'm going to be honest with you, I have not seen a lot of people shitting on Baldur's Gate 3. I think a lot of people were very happy with Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, no, I didn't really see a lot of that. I mean, like, you had people who complain about, like, the bear sex and all that, but
that's a completely different,
like, that's like a joke scene and no one cares about that. And, like, compared to, oh no, like, this is gonna, like, ruin our culture and all that, it's like, no one cares about that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, I think with Baldur's Gate, people were more upset with the hypocrisy of game journalists, but they really didn't care about the bare sex. Go off, King, if you really want.
Yeah, like it has nothing to do with what these people are saying it is, but it's like, oh, well, if you play it, if you complain about Baldur's Gate 3 on any level, you're deep in your basement with your tinfoil hat on, talking about how the Jews control your radio teeth.
Pretty much. Users claim that the games were part of a quote, Jewish global homo agenda to promote degenerate values among white male gamers. Notably, anti-Semitic conspiracies were also identified in relation to non-gaming discussion about global events, where users on Gamers Uprising, Steam, and 4chan shared anti-Semitic discourse in response to the ongoing war in X places and in Russia's invasion of X place. Some users also shared links to websites featuring denial content. I'm pretty. I don't know if I've gone over it yet, but there is a point in this where they say that some people are. They basically say where people are schizoid, saying, "Oh my gosh, are you a Fed?" They actually reference people saying, "Are you a glowy or are you a Fed?" in this document somewhere. I might have run over it.
Yeah, basically like, "Hey, I don't think you're the person that you're claiming to be," and then the document goes, and then they had the gall to accuse me of not being who I said I was. Users on 4chan, Discord, and Incel.is discussed how they would violently attack or sexually assault women for enjoyment in games like RimWorld, Red Dead Redemption 2, and GTA. Derogatory terms targeting women were also employed by users in response to new game releases that featured women as main characters. Users claimed that women's sole purpose in games was to be attractive, non-playable characters. I know that's not true. I know that some of these guys actually do want to play the female girls. That's what I do.
Yeah, exactly. In-game female characters who are perceived to have significant agency, masculine traits, who are non-conventionally attractive were degraded with misogynistic or transphobic slurs. Users on Discord also made violent threats against women associated with prominent gaming streamers, threatening to stalk, dox, or harass them, which I do not condone. You should not stalk, dox, or harass Pokimane. She's not worth it. On Incel.is, videos were also shared to show women being harassed in gaming settings for entertainment. The encouragement and enjoyment of harassment and enactment of violent fantasies in-game legitimize and trivialize abuse and violence against women. They also represent these users' wide rejection of women in these spaces. I know one of these guys. I'm one of them. Oh, no. Oh, I forgot about this. Threats of violence by target group, top 5. So women received the most with 14,000. I don't know where these numbers are pulling from, but women received the most violence by 14,000. Alphabet people received over 9,000. Black community, so black people, you gotta take a seat. You're not the most oppressed person anymore. You only have 6,000. Jewish communities have 1,500, and Asian communities have just under 1,000. 3%, 36,000 posts of all extremist posts identified featured threats of violence. Women were the main target of violent threats across all platforms. Platforms do not have content moderation practices in place, and so original numbers may have been higher. And they include this image from Fallout 4. Artwork from a Fallout 4 community on Steam where users encourage committing domestic violence against a woman due to her child being black.
Yeah, there's a lot of context missing there.
I have not played Fallout 4. I have had oh fuck! I have had a friend tell me not to play it because it's not as good.
To kind of explain it, because that is very obviously edited to be a shitpost. The couple at the mirror there, or like on the leftmost image, that is the character select.
Mm-hmm.
You choose between either the husband or the wife, and you can customize them from there. The baby is their son, and it will take on the race of whatever the parent is. So if one of the parents is black, the baby will be black. And the rightmost one is obviously they just switched to Nora for a little bit, made her beat up, and then swapped her back. Like it's very obviously just a joke.
Yeah, that's a great. Oh my gosh. Oh, here it is. Oh my gosh, that's great. That's fantastic. The game characters are married. Users on 4chan, Incel.is, Gamers Uprising, and Discord frequently discuss the assumption that law enforcement agencies are monitoring their post activity. This is the glowing part here. And again, this is why I can't take this seriously. Users have accused each other of being glowies when engaging in disagreements or claimed games were secretly designed by law enforcement if they restricted content. Users also shared conspiratorial claims about law enforcement officers. By the way, again, chat, this was funded by the European Union. European Union tax dollars went towards the study of why I call my friend a glowy. All right? This is bizarre to me. Users also shared conspiratorial claims about law enforcement officers infiltrating their communities disguised as femboys or attractive women to seduce and indoctrinate them. In response to this perception, users moderated their own posting behavior to protect themselves in case they were being monitored. Users sharing threats of violence added caveats such as in video games for the glowies to demonstrate how their desire for violence could not be treated as a real threat. On Gamers Uprising, the site's approach to moderation was driven by the perception that law enforcement agencies are monitoring the site. Moderators stated that discussions of real-world violence and the planning of attacks are prohibited, and to keep the site online and prevent users from facing legal consequences.
So it directly says, hey, don't be an idiot and keep this all just to be talking about stuff on the internet and talking about video games. And they cite that as an example of extremism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Femboys are only there to radicalize me? Yes, chat. Yes, chat. If there is a femboy in your friend group, chances are he's a fed. So I gotta kick out Mizu now because Mizu's apparently a fed. And that's why oh, it's great. It's perfect. Oh man, I hope that your brain hasn't melted so far.
So far, I'm keeping strong. I got my nicotine here.
That's good. That's good. Could the EU get more cocked? Yes. Yes, it could. Influential voices and groups. Across the online gaming ecosystem, individual streamers who publish gaming content to their online channels dominate the influencer space. Their content primarily feature video game playthroughs, reaction content, and more recently, loot boxes and online casino games. I wonder if they're watching Boss Man Jack. Across the... if they, you know what, if they watched him, they would have an entire page dedicated to him.
Dude, I'm just imagining like one of the guys on like the Incel forum or whatever posting like, the online femboys glow in the dark. You can see them if you're driving.
Exactly. They only glow in one place, though. Oh, gosh. Across the monitored image and the thread-based platforms, influential streamers are discussed, but they do not maintain their own accounts. The latter is more common on Discord, where streamers post about their content and have dedicated fan spaces. Hey, that's about me. Next to gaming personalities, current and historic extremist personalities also enjoy popularity among extremist communities in the online gaming ecosystem. Users discuss a wide range of popular streamers and VTubers. Oh my gosh, VTubers are being... what does it say about VTubers? VTubers are online influencers that use animated characters avatars rather than reveal their face for online content. Okay, perfect. Cool. They got that right, at least. Across platforms, well-known streamers like XQC attracted considerable volumes of discussion. Are they going to say that XQC is like a magnet for incels? Oh,
I was about to say, it's like, what the hell did he do?
I don't know. Again, I feel like Asmongold would be better suited for this. He is the, what do they call him, like the Roach King or something?
He will build the Roach Caliphate.
He will. XQC is the most successful gaming streamers globally. However, he has also been involved in controversies related to accusations of homophobia and racism. In discussions of XQC across monitored platforms, some users allege that he is unfairly targeted by religious elites or the, quote, New World Order because he is a successful white man, while others degraded his fan base with homophobic slurs and called for him to be game-ended. Influential personalities accused of sharing misogynistic narratives such as Twitch streamer Neon were also... Wait, who's Neon? Hold on. I feel like I've heard that name before.
That's not familiar at all.
Oh, I know that guy. Yeah, I know that guy. Never mind. That guy. I think this guy... I swear I've seen this guy get into some shit online.
Yeah.
I've seen him and stuff.
I'm pretty sure I've seen him on sex offender registry.
That's possible. Chat, who is Neon? Please educate me. XQC is white? I don't know, man. I don't assume people's race anymore. I get called racist. Twitch streamer Neon were also discussed among incel communities in particular, while some users on Incel.is speculated that Neon was a, quote, plant merely aiming to infiltrate incel communities. Others expressed support for him as a genuine incel. Next to gaming personalities, musicians such as rapper Little Dark. That is not a rapper's name. That is not a rapper's name. Little Darky were also popular among Discord and 4chan users. The rapper wrote songs songs such as that, which discussed the fear of censorship and trivialized that world event and the fear and feature references to QAnon. Users shared YouTube links to their content and discussed listening to the rapper as part of their gaming routine. Okay, those people just sound like edgy idiots. I've never heard of Little Darky before. Have you? Oh fuck. Oh, they actually get to show. They're actually showing a meme here. Perfect. Oh, that is an artwork shared in the Hearts of Iron 4 Steam community.
Well, the best part is that's from that Mel Brooks movie, The Producers, where the entire joke of it is it's like they're putting on like a massively anti-Semitic play on purpose so the play would flop.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, so they're mentioning the most extremist personalities and groups across platforms. Oh gosh. Chat, if you haven't already, please like the stream, because liking the stream allows me to continue moving on, because I am definitely not going to stay monetized after mentioning some of this shit. With almost 1,000, I don't know where these numbers come from, but Adolf Hitler is the highest, and then Elliot is the second, followed by Andrew. Oh wow, I'm surprised Andrew Tate isn't higher. Followed by the KKK and this other guy who I'm pretty sure is also a shooter man. Springtime in Hitler's. Oh gosh. Oh man, I hope I'm not gonna have to censor more of this. Holy shit. Adolf Hitler memes and Nazi regime strategy games function as extremist dog whistles among extremist communities in the online gaming ecosystem. Are they gonna say that Hearts of Iron 4 is a bad game because it allows you to play world history events? Oh my gosh.
Good, they haven't been playing right. The goal is to spread glorious capitalism to every inch of the world.
Mm-hmm. Adolf was frequently referenced in memes and discussions denying that world event, with users endorsing his actions. Real quick, chat, we do not endorse his actions. His actions were wrong. This was at times disguised as historical roleplay, probably exactly what it is, in which users would simulate the regime in historical strategy games, such as Hearts of Iron 4. While users did not overly endorse joining current extremist groups, because they probably weren't, they did discuss and emulated Adolf or the KKK. Both are extremely well known and can be shared in memes and short form content without the need to provide additional context, as their iconography is easily recognizable in short messages, images, and links. Other prominent figures mentioned included Andrew Tate, whose views and actions were supported by users across the platform. However, some users on 4chan also radically abuse Tate or share how they enjoy his alleged status as a, quote, mainstream hate figure. I feel like everybody kind of hates Andrew Tate, so...
Yeah, I mean, they're basically saying, like, you're an extremist if you just call the guy out as being a complete idiot.
I guess so. I guess I'm an extremist then. Extremist communities primarily congregate with their pre-existing forums. Okay. So rather than creating their own bespoke communities, extremist users tended to congregate in existing gaming spaces linked to specific games or genres. The Deuce Volt role-playing sub-community was identified across both fantasy and medieval settings such as Crusader Kings. Extremist users exploit the historical setting of these games to emulate Crusader knights participating in holy wars to erase Islam and end Muslims. Within these games, community forums, these users discussed how they took enjoyment from ending Muslims in games, and some based their entire Steam profile around Crusader Knight persona. Clans and particular game communities in these MMO games were also exploited by extremists. A global community server in the game Path of Exile hosted extremist groups due to its dog whistle server name 1488. Oh my gosh. The server was perceived as a safe space for users to play the game without alphabet or non-white players and without being challenged for using extremist slurs. Extremist ideologies are not necessarily the primary link between these users, but these factors can capitalize on shared gaming interests, share extremist narratives. Thus, a wide range of users that may be initially attracted to groups because of their gaming interests are exposed to the extremist discourse that is normalized under the guise of gaming or role-playing. In some of these groups, extremist narratives are dominant, and users may feel they have to adjust them to fit in, especially if they cannot find an alternative. So they're saying that people are goaded into these communities, and because they're kind of stuck there, they have to fit in.
Yeah, I get the feeling the detail they're not going to add is like, oh yeah, and by the way, half of the users were they're Mexicans.
Yeah. Where can I join the Deuce Volt server? Sounds based. I think it's a Steam group. Oh, fuck. Oh my gosh. The role of games. Both extremist and non-extremist games are discussed and shared among users across monitored platforms. There's a wide range of genres and types of games that are featured in extremist discussions, with many of them serving different purposes. Some games and game developers are attacked by users for their, quote, wokeness, while others are played and celebrated because they enable users to engage in gameplay that fits their extremist worldview. Only a small minority of games are developed by extremists in an effort to share extremist narratives, and I would really like to know which games they are going to be referencing here. Holy shit. And therefore can be classed as such in their entirety. The vast majority of games extremist communities engage with can be considered mainstream games whose features are exploited for extremist gameplay. Mainstream games, including AAA games such as Starfield, Baldur's Gate 3, or Spider-Man 2, are played and widely discussed by extremist communities across platforms. I don't think extremist communities are playing Starfield. I think that they are shitting on Starfield because nobody likes Starfield.
I feel like Bethesda funded all of this.
Probably. Oh gosh. However, users frequently attacked these franchises and shared hateful narratives while the game's storylines and characters did not conform to their extremist worldview. Again, I need to know where people were saying this about Baldur's Gate 3, because I know a lot of these people really liked Baldur's Gate 3. Because you could have sex with a dummy mommy red woman, and I know a lot of people really liked that. Who's playing Starfield? Yeah. This was particularly prevalent when new game releases prominently featured ethnic minority characters or alphabet themes. Users' outrage about so-called woke narratives was largely driven by their belief that characters and storylines within these games should exclusively cater to members of their community. This entitlement to games and gaming spaces is driven by their belief that the vast majority of gamers who fund the industry are white male and heterosexual with traditional heteronormative worldviews. Does anybody these people, I can't believe these people actually believe that. Holy shit. Many users expressed the belief that the gaming industry is increasingly used to propagate woke values, because it is, instead of good gameplay, blaming the New World Order or religious elites for allegedly promoting diversity in an effort to erase white Western culture. Users shared go woke, go broke narratives in response to reports of staff redundancies and other challenges in the industry.
I swear to God, this is just a time capsule back to 2014. Like, nothing has changed.
It has not, no. I feel like Anita Sarkeesian is somehow behind the keyboard right now. Oh, fuck. In response to perceived woke agendas, some users claim to have turned to games they perceive to be safe havens due to them allegedly catering to extremist narratives or being apolitical. Users often recommended games for not featuring alphabet characters or players or allowing them to speak freely in gamer chats. I need to know what games they're talking about.
Yeah, they didn't list any examples.
Oh, no, they did not. Game lore is used to confirm extremist worldviews. Users discuss game narratives and storylines across platforms in an effort to confirm extremist worldviews. By the way, we're 20 pages into this out of 30. Holy God. Quotes from certain characters in game were constructed to portray them as inspirational figures who allegedly hold views in line with the that was the alt-right, or incel ideology. One user on Incel.is discussed how the in-game dialogue of a blonde male character from Cyberpunk 2077 helped them rationalize their perception of sex workers, namely that they are merely service providers. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, gosh. I've never heard of a sex worker called a service provider before. Oh, man, that's fantastic. Oh, fuck. Oh, they related this experience to their own, demonstrating how it provided them with confidence that they were justified in the dehumanization of sex workers and can simply use these femoids to meet their sexual needs, confirming incels' views of the profession. Sex work is real work, guys. Users also created their own animated video content that included characters from popular video games enacting extremist behavior such as killing people who identify as transgender. In discussion of fantasy and sci-fi games, lore was also used to justify and perpetuate racist ideology. These discussions extended beyond legitimate discourse over characters, world building, and in fictional games. Employing racist slurs, users discussed how black characters were out of place, even if the specific games... Oh, are they talking about Kingdom Come 1, where it was out of place for black characters to be in there, which is why they're not? Oh, even if specific games were set entirely fantasy-based or sci-fi settings and the character's role have been established as canon by the game developers. Users argued that fantasy games based on European medieval context, such as Baldur's Gate 3, should not feature alphabet or non-white characters. Well, with Baldur's Gate 3, I disagree. You can have whatever you want in that game. In sci-fi games, users stated that black characters should be excluded from any game setting unless it resembles... Oh my gosh. Oh, despite developers canonically including non-white and alphabet characters into their fictional world, users projected their extremist worldviews on the game's lore. The manifestation of such narratives in games lore among extremist communities also reflects the wider sentiment regarding the role of ethnic minorities of women in games. Oh.
Like I said, like 2014 all over again. Like it is just repeating the same talking points of, oh, some people don't want like black people or like gay people in their games. It's like, we've been having this same conversation for like 10 years.
I think the only problem is, well, actually, I was going to say the last time they weren't paid for this, but I swear, I feel like the government probably did pay them. I feel like Feminist Frequency did get money for that shit. Oh.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, it is one of those things where I think it just comes down to, who's the guy with the quote where, like, if you repeat a lie often enough, eventually it will become true?
Yeah.
It's basically that principle to a T. It's like, if we just keep saying it, eventually it'll click.
Yeah. No, pretty much. Oh, my gosh. My apologies, chat. I need a moment. This is, oh, man. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. By the way, chat, I do appreciate all of you tonight. Thank you for getting me over 100 likes. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I will read chat. I will read your when we get done with this. I will go through the super chats here. Oh fuck! This is. And again, like, do you think that they're serious, or do you think that this is just like an attempt to make money? I swear, I can't tell right now.
I think it's both. I think the seriousness is in the whole, like, we need to secure our dominance in the gaming space and make sure the gaming space only repeats what we want to hear over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those of, it's also clearly just for the money, where it's like, it's the money and the control. It's not about because they actually believe this. It's more the fact of they want their end goal of media domination because that will secure their constant, essentially, source of revenue, where they can just list any criticism of it as extremism and we need to research this. We got to figure out what's going on here. Why don't people like this stuff in games? We need to get to the bottom of it. They got to pretend it's a bigger debate when it just comes down to, I mean, AAA writers are man children that don't know how to write.
Yep, I agree. And that's very unfortunate because I feel like we are definitely lacking good writers, maybe even some good programmers these days too. I don't know. Anyway, let's continue on here. Game developers are consistently associated with anti-Semitic and anti-alphabet conspiracy theories and targeted with racist rhetoric. It definitely isn't because it's been confirmed time and time again that is what these people are part of because they actively say that they are. So it's not really a conspiracy theory. It is literally just them coming out and saying it. Oh, goodness. Across platforms, game developers in the gaming industry or more broadly were seen as propagandists working for the... Again, I want to know. This might just be only on 4chan. I don't know. I want to know who is saying Jewish World Order. All right. I have some funky people.
Sounds like it's really only on 4chan. Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen some funky people in my time, but I have never heard somebody refer to this as the Jewish World Order. And I have a Jew as my manager. All right. I would imagine he would crack jokes about that at some point, but not even he makes funny jokes like that. Game developers such as Larian or the Bethesda were targeted in particular due to having two of the largest game releases in 2023, Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield. Users accused them of promoting homosexuality and mass immigration through the storylines of both games. Was there mass immigration in Starfield? I didn't play it because I didn't want to buy that trash, but...
I mean, it was like, Fallout 4 where every NPC had like a randomized race to it, so I guess technically, but it's also in the far future, so it's kind of one of those of... I mean, the sci-fi dystopia where everyone's living in like cosmic horror and all that, super diverse. So I don't know if that's really a positive message there.
Yeah. That's okay. I don't know. I just find that bizarre. Let's see here. Users also targeted the accounts of some developers with anti-alphabet slurs for allegedly implementing woke narratives into their games, and Chinese and Japanese developers were targeted with racist and anti-Asian slurs. I don't believe that for a minute. Chinese people and Asian and other Asian people have been making some of the best games, so I think a lot of people are probably praising them for the big titty girls. Oh, goodness. Sandbox games and mods offer extremist escapism from other games that are not perceived to cater to users' extremist worldview. Mods are a way for non-extremist games to become more violent or align with extremist narratives and discourse. Platforms like 4chan have dedicated threads to share relevant mods for popular games, with users frequently sharing links to game modding websites such as Nexus Mods and Base Mods. Some users saw modding as a means to counter perceived woke diversity narratives by removing pronouns or non-white characters from a game, or to include more in-game violence, because we all love in-game violence. Users on Incel.is discussed how Roblox mods enable them to kill women in Minecraft or migrants in-game. Well, that is a very unfortunate Roblox game mode, and I'm surprised that actually exists in a children's game. Holy cow.
It probably only exists for a week before I got pulled down.
Probably. Holy shit. Sandbox games offered a similar creative freedom to users. Some users discussed that event in Minecraft, which allowed users to replicate or ridicule the extermination, I'm not reading that, of religious people. Therefore,
Wait a minute. No, I know exactly what they're referencing there. Yeah, that's not some people in a server. No, that's that meme video of the Polish guy who walks in on his buddies and they built one of the camps in his Minecraft server.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they specifically name drop what the camp was, and immediately got flashed in my mind. It's like, wait a minute, I know what that one is.
That's funny. That is. Well, the first thing that came to my mind when they were talking about this is, I know that some people like create servers where you can roleplay in historical context. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. If this is what they're roleplaying, I feel that's kind of fucked up in my personal opinion. But there's probably people that do it. I don't know.
I mean, you have the let's take the positive connotation of it. You have the people who are really, really into historical settings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is. I agree. I've seen that video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Therefore, while the games they were playing were non-extremist, the creative freedom offered through modding and sandbox allowed users to tailor the game to... So they're saying that we can't be creative and have sandbox games now. They're saying that we need to get rid of that. Wow. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. GTA 6 is a dominant topic of discussion across platforms. Due to GTA 6 closely depicting real-world settings, users frequently discuss the representation of society within the game, claiming it confirmed their worldview. Users alleged how GTA 6 trailer represented a society full of ethnic minorities and promiscuous women, citing the decline of the West and the Great Replacement conspiracies. Users attacked the game and its non-white female protagonist with derogatory slurs. Despite users' frustration with GTA 6, like previous GTA releases, its sandbox capabilities also drove excitement among users who wanted to enact in-game violent fantasies targeting women or ethnic minorities. Oh my gosh. I can just imagine.
So on one hand, it's like, oh, this is going to destroy the West. And on the other hand, it's like, man, I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, I can just imagine some of these people getting in game and pretending that they're in a lesbian relationship and then being like, oh, guys, you know how all lesbian relationships go. In-game violence. I imagine that's probably going to happen, and it will be funny. Oh, gosh. Recruitment and radicalization. Let's see here. Demonization of, quote, normies may pressure users into engaging with the extremist themes and games to find acceptance. Ah, yes. Being a, quote, normie is seen as ultimately negative trait among extremist communities. The term is used to refer to gamers who passively follow mainstream trends in gaming, supposedly lacking individual agency and high-level gaming skills. Consequently, users in these spaces are often pressured to stop engaging with mainstream games and streamers, instead seeking out more niche content to be validated. On 4chan, users share links to their Steam profiles in a dedicated thread to seek approval from other community members for the games they played and their in-game achievements. while also attempting to connect to play with like-minded users. In response, other 4chan users would rate their profiles as normie or based. I'm going to be honest, that does sound like a fun game to do. In discussions of games such as Call of Duty or Diablo, users capitalized on existing controversies surrounding games, claiming that they are overrun by members of the Alphabet community, encouraging others to play games or older installments of the franchise. I'll be honest with you, older installments of Diablo I've heard are way better anyway, so yeah, I can understand why. Demonizing games and communities perceived as mainstream can separate players from mainstream fan bases, and peer pressure users into solely engaging with niche gaming communities where discourse is unmoderated and extreme content is shared. This tactic may put vulnerable users seeking acceptance and belonging at risk of radicalization. So if I call you a normie, you're at risk of becoming an extremist because you don't want to be called a normie anymore.
Oh.
Oh gosh. Well, I can't call you a normie. You're the almighty lolly. You're anything but a normie.
I'm just a chill guy.
Exactly. You're just a chill guy. Off-ramping techniques may be employed to recruit users into extremist spaces or expose them to extremist content. Due to the interconnected nature of the gaming ecosystem, off-ramping was common on platforms like Steam, where users shared links to Telegram channels or Discord servers to connect with others. The vast majority of these groups were not extremist in nature, advertising Telegram channels for game giveaways, discussions with game developers, mods, or content sharing. However, some users shared links to Discord servers that were advertised deliberately unmoderated spaces or as groups that do not allow members of the LGBTQ or Black communities. Other users would move from Steam to 4chan to engage in unmoderated discussions or to discuss specific games which only had limited in-game chat functions. User playing games like Path of Exile, a free fantasy action role-playing game that has attracted extremist communities in the past, that's very mean to say, would connect via 4chan instead to offer in-game trades or coordinate harassment campaigns to get users they disagreed with removed from the game. And I obviously don't agree with harassment there, chat. Users cross-platform Users' cross-platform presence allows them to move between moderated and unmoderated spaces, adjusting their behavior accordingly and potentially off-ramping other users in efforts to radicalize them. Oh, goodness. So now we're on coordinated harassment, found historically in Gamergate. Oh, my God. There it is. That's the first time it's mentioned.
It's not even uppercase. The heathens.
Coordinated harassment found historically in Gamergate and community raids continues to be identified across online gaming ecosystem. Users organized campaigns in unmoderated spaces on 4chan, sharing links to accounts on or comments on platforms such as Steam, Roblox, YouTube, or Discord, which they disagreed with. Users were targeted for self-identifying as members of the Alphabet community or for being women commenting on developments in the gaming industry. Users encouraged others to report, comment, and spam their accounts or content to intimidate them or get them removed. In-game, users tried to ban others by exploiting the cheater reporting function, which is I hate cheating report functions for that reason alone. Raids in particular were seen as an entertainment by some users who perceive this form of collective harassment as benign or funny. Raids can create a sense of collective mobilization that can strengthen the in-group identity, allowing extremist communities to feel powerful and entitled to defend the gaming space against an undesirable outgroups. This sense of collective achievement and mobilization may attract at-risk users to these extremist communities, seeking a sense of belonging and influence. Excuse me. Don't they know how serious it is? And they couldn't even capitalize it. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the funny part about that in particular is, like, that's not a politically biased thing. I mean, all sorts of different political viewpoints or groups or what have you, or like online communities, to use the big quotes for that. Like, they all engage in raids.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, 4chan's not the only people that do that. Reddit has raided people. It's one of those things of taking general internet behavior and applying it to one specific group when, like, no, pretty much everyone's guilty here.
Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about this. Isn't Reddit, like, way more mellow these days? Like, it's, like, gotten more moderated in the last couple of years?
Supposedly, I know you had the big blow up of them wanting to ban Twitter links, and a bunch of boards either rebelled for that or purged themselves from people who basically said that's not a good idea. It's one of those where it could be having its kind of NeoGAF moment of all the crazies will decide you weren't radical enough and break off and create their own new Reddit, and everyone that's left will at least be like, at least you could have a conversation with them, because NeoGAF actually Yeah, NeoGAF now, despite it having the reputation it did, after Reset era happened, they chilled out quite a bit.
Yeah, I've never been to NeoGAF. I just know of the insanity of what split off from it and some of the conversations that happened there.
Oh, it was bad, and I'll never forgive them for ruining Persona.
Yeah. No, yeah. Initiation culture based on frequency and quality of posts may function as a radicalization fast track. On 4chan, Incel, and Gamers Uprising, users were rewarded for consistent engagement and posting. Some platforms display users' total posts to establish their seniority, while other spaces would distinguish between new and established users by labeling the former new fags. On Gamers Uprising, access to wider... You know, I'm surprised they didn't look at Kiwi Farms at all. I'm going to be honest with you. That is a missed opportunity. You think they were too afraid to go there?
Probably didn't know how to get to one of the mirrors.
Probably. I mean, like, it's easier to get there now, but, like, I don't know. Maybe they were just too afraid to go on the KF. Oh, fuck. On Gamers Uprising, access to wider platform is restricted to new users who have to prove their worth in the new Fag Barn forum before they are granted posting privileges to the remainder of the platform. I'm going to be honest with you. I am totally fine with restricting new people. Like, in my server, you cannot post. Not only can you cannot post for the first 10 minutes, but you can't post images until, like, you post there for a while, because I want to keep out shitsters and children. So, like I'm fine with keeping people contained for a moment until they prove that they're not stupid. I think that is just
that's
fine.
pretty standard practice at this point, yeah.
Yeah. This leaves users at the mercy of the platform's admins who encourage users to post often and share extremist narratives. Ah, yes. So you have to be extreme in order to get approved. Users who do not comply with this expectation are belittled and ostracized. Platform's admins who also employ a swastika rewards system, which awards users by adding swastikas to their profile based on seniority and posting behavior. Some users attempted to garner respect among the community by showing violent gameplay videos alongside extremist slurs to establish themselves as skilled and based gamers by constructing an in-group through veteran members of the community. There's an exception for users to earn the respect of the pre-existing members by sharing quality extremist content, potentially creating radicalization fast track for users who are desperate to fit in. Holy cow, there's 6 pages of oh wait, how long is this conclusion? It looks like, oh, it's only 2 pages, and then we have the appendix. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay. Oh. Conclusion and recommend. Okay, so they come with their own recommendations. Awesome. The analysis highlights the complexity of online gaming ecosystems and how extremist communities exploit these spaces. Users from these extremist communities share racist, anti-alphabet, misogynistic, anti-Semitic content, including violent narratives. The research also showed, I'll be honest with you, I really didn't see a whole lot of stuff. I've just seen a lot of words here.
Yeah, it was mainly just, here's what's happening, and maybe a chart or two.
Yeah, like I only saw one Hitler post. I need to see at least 2 or 3 before I take this seriously. Oh, fuck.
Then we made one Fallout 4 edit. We must ruin video games forever.
Exactly. Like if that's all it takes, man, we're fucking cooked. I don't know. That's so sad. The research also shows how extremists abuse mainstream games to, quote, live out their extremist worldviews in game and capitalize on mainstream discussions to share extremist content with a wider audience. The recommendations below are driven by the findings shared in this report and aim to address some of the key challenges highlighted. 1. Ensure policies, legislation, and law enforcement actions are informed by a thorough understanding of the complexity of the online gaming system. So they want people to learn about the online gaming ecosystem. Lovely. In order to effectively counter extremism in gaming, law enforcement and policymakers need to understand the complexity of the ecosystem and how these spaces, key factors, and games function. Experts from a range of different industries and key stakeholders should be closely involved in advising and training relevant bodies, creating policies, legislation, or interventions to ensure this complexity is taken into account. This should include a detailed understanding of different online gaming platforms, games, gaming industry. They want you to create a database of all of these platforms and spy on them. Holy cow.
Yeah, quite literally Ministry of Gaming.
Oh, this should include detailed understanding of different online gaming platforms, games, gaming communities, and how extremists exploit these spaces. This is vital to design effective solutions to counter extremism in the online gaming ecosystem and avoid potential stigmatization of entire games or gaming communities. Employ automated moderation. Oh man, I love me my automated moderation systems. Those things are absolutely amazing. Our analysis identified several extremist games being sold or shared on monitored platforms. I don't see you mentioning any. Automated systems can be deployed to detect and moderate this content. In order to promote cross-platform collaboration, it is recommended that a hash database of these games and their associated developers is created to limit their circulation. Oh, really, just like, you gotta dox the people and put their games up. This is
Well,
wow.
the funny part about that is they say platforms plural, but the only one that sells games of the one they listed was Steam.
Yeah. It's the only one that really matters, too. Wish these people would piss off. I wish they would, too. I really wish they would, too. These people are... I don't know. I hate them. I hate them. Conduct red teaming exercises of games prior to their release. Our research highlights how sandbox games and mods can be exploited to promote extremist narratives. In order to identify possible ways in which the game could be manipulated, particularly to enact violent fantasy, game developers should run red teaming exercises of prospective releases to anticipate options for extremist users to exploit the games for harmful purposes. Basically, they're saying they don't want sandbox games to exist, because if there's a sandbox game, somebody's going to go want to chop off the head of a minority they don't like, and that's just really how it's going to be. So, man, just can't have any sandbox games, I guess.
Yeah, they're a little bit late for that. I mean, Postal 2 was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Conduct further research into the prevalence of extremist narratives in audio and video content across the online gaming ecosystem. Research is focused primarily on text and image-based content. Audio and video content is also shared within these spaces. It is recommended that more research is carried out to understand the role audio and video content play. They want to monitor every little bit of your audio chat in Discord, in any of these online spaces. Holy shit.
And more than that, they want more money to do more studies and more research, where all they do is sit on the internet all day.
Yeah. Wow. Holy shit. Introduce mandatory transparency reporting with specific standardized reporting guidelines. To effectively tackle the issue of extremism in gaming, it's crucial to have a more in-depth understanding of the volume, and nature of extremist content that is reported by users or removed by trust and safety teams, in public and in private spaces across gaming and gaming adjacent platforms. Mandatory transparency reports with standardized methodologies for documenting key data points would enable platforms, policymakers, and researchers to understand the key challenges users face on these platforms and assess key trends over time. Furthermore, transparency reports could highlight which measures are currently used by users to report content, providing insight into the uptake and efficiency of content reporting mechanisms. They just... Oh, they want more reporting. They want more reporting. Oh my gosh. Oh, and chat, now we move on to the appendix. Let's see if there's anything worth reading here.
I mean, they got the definition for woke and incel. That could be kind of funny.
Yeah, let's see here. Because we already know what the extreme right-wing chat is. That's all of us here, apparently. All of you here are extreme right-wing because you want normal games. Incel, involuntary celibate ideology, is defined as a belief system held by men. I'm sure that there's female incels as well. I swear I've seen female VTubers on Twitter that act like that. Who define...
They're called femcells.
Exactly. Who define themselves by their inability to form or access sexual relationships with women. They believe this is a combined result of genetic factors, evolutionary determined traits in women, and inequitable social structures. This belief system is presented as an objective and scientific truth and is thus regarded and unchangeable. Incel ideology often features conspiracy theories about the role and behavior of women in society, which forms the basis of incels' dehumanizing and violent misogynistic beliefs. They portray women as the key perpetrators of incel oppression and as biologically and evolutionary incapable of empathy or love towards incels. Violent sentiment towards women is often prevalent across incel communities. Woke is defined as an awareness of social justice issues and inequalities, including racism, misogyny, or discrimination of alphabet communities, among others. Within the context of online gaming ecosystem, it refers to perceived efforts made by certain game developers and gaming communities to increase racial and gender diversity, in particular across the gaming industry. This may be driven by increased diversity among game developers and designers through in-game characters, game design, or the promotion of specific video game streamers. To access a glossary of terms from the GEMS project featuring key terms and contents related to extremism, please visit the site. Okay. Let's see. Oh, so this is them talking about their phasing in this. By the way, I know you said you couldn't stay for a while, so if any point you need to jump out, please just let me know, and we'll see you off.
Yep. Don't worry, I'll let you know.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect. Okay, Phase 1, Viability Assessment. Moonshot conducted an initial viability assessment to identify the platforms of highest relevance and to research these objectives. The viability assessment was primarily guided by the following questions. Does the platform host publicly accessible gaming or gaming adjacent spaces? Can extremist discourse be identified in the gaming or gaming adjacent spaces on the platform? Moonshot accessed 24 gaming and gaming adjacent platforms for inclusion in our analysis. Following this assessment, Discord, 4chan, Gamer Uprise, Incel.is, and Steam were selected as platforms for this research. During the viability assessment, negligible volumes of Islamic extremist content were identified across assessed platforms. As a result, ERW and Incel content only were selected as the focus. Wait, why not Islamist extremist content? What the fuck?
Yeah, they outright said, yeah, it's there, but it wasn't what we wanted. Therefore, we're going to focus on this other stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's... Okay. I'm not going to get started on that. The focus on English language content and publicly accessible spaces only across the platform included our viability assessment may have led to the exclusion of some spaces that features relevant IE content. Therefore, the absence of IE content from this research should not be necessarily regarded as evidence that the content is not present. So they're saying, since even though we didn't look at Islamist extremist content, we're not saying it doesn't exist. We just didn't include it. We just decided to look away.
Yeah, even though they're kind of the main ones who make mods to literally radicalize children. Like, the whole thing of, like, making mods to, like, radicalize people and pull them into rabbit holes, that is literally what terror cells do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just... They gotta look the other way, because it's the wrong religion to look at right now.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Once viability assessment was complete, Moonshot worked to identify relevant gaming and gaming adjacent spaces on each platform where ERW or Incel content was being shared. As a result, we identified the following spaces for analysis from which the data was subsequently collected. 34 channels across 21 gaming-related Discord servers with over 4 million subscribers in total. I need to know what those Discord servers are. I want to know what those Discord servers are so bad. Oh.
It's probably like the first 21 results you pick if you go on Discord and, like, look for default servers to follow.
That's possible. I don't know. Oh, goodness. 4chan, 6 gaming-related specific discussion boards. We can probably pick all those out easily. Incel.is, 2 main forums on the website, Incel Discussion and The Lounge. I don't know how those are game-related, but okay. Steam, 25 game-related forums and groups. Probably includes Hearts of Iron 4. It probably... They probably looked at all the games that had World War II and said, let's go to those gaming forums and look at those.
Well, like, the weird part is, like, oh, this is, it literally calls itself identification of relevant spaces for data collection, and it's not going to list out specifically which ones they went to.
No.
The Incel one, they outright said it's in Incel Discussion and The Lounge, but for 4chan, it's just 6 specific boards, Discord, 21 different servers, Steam, 25 groups. Like, you're not going to name them.
They're not. It looks like it, no. That's insane. That is really crazy. And then the whole site for Gamers Uprising. So I guess Gamers Uprising, you're on the fucking, you're on lock right now. All right.
The entire site's a sewer.
Exactly. The methodology for data collection across the platform selected varied due to different data structures and the varying types of content hosted on each of these online spaces. The time frame was July 2023 to December 31st, 2023. On Discord, 4chan, Incel, and Gamers Uprising. On Steam, posts from the 1st of December 2023 and 30th of April 2024 were manually analyzed. This results in the following data sample for analysis. And this shows all this that we already read. Once all the data was collected, each post was keyword tagged to identify any references to ERW or Incel. Man, imagine how many hours went into that. That is insane. Do you think they took pictures of this shit and they just decided not to share it?
It has to be. Like, I mean, if they're this confident about it, like, because it's not just like, 50 or so. They're claiming like 24 million posts about it. So It's like, okay, someone somewhere had to at least have some screenshot.
Oh yeah, I agree. I want to know. I want to see some pictures, please. Please show me some pictures. I want to see an incel on Incel.is screaming the N-word a lot. I need to see that because it will probably be as deranged as it looks. Oh, fuck. Let's see. Once the data has been collected, tagged, and quality assured, analysis was conducted on the resulting data sets to investigate the prevalence and nature of extremist discourse across gaming relevant spaces and its impact on radicalizing users. The most prominent extremist narratives across the online gaming ecosystem, the prevalence and nature of threats of violence across gaming relevant spaces, the role of certain games within extremist discourse, and radicalization efforts across monitor spaces. Limitations. Okay, let's read this here. Potentially incomplete coverage due to platform moderation. Okay. So posts on some of the platform analyzed, particularly more mainstream ones, are regularly removed either by the platform moderators or by the authors of the post themselves. Therefore, it's reasonable to assume that a percentage of the extremist posts over the time frame analyzed would have been removed, and therefore would not have been captured in our data set. It may have affected posts featuring explicit calls for violence in particular, and these posts can face stringent moderation efforts on some of the platforms monitored for this subject. False positives. Moonshot's thorough quality assurance process has been designed to eliminate many false positives as possible. Probably not enough. Moonshot's keyword database of extremist indicators was thoroughly reviewed so that only ERW or incel discourse would be identified. Once the data collection and keyword tagging process was complete, the data was checked by internal, external subject matter experts to identify and remove any false positives. However, due to the high volume of data, it is possible that some false positives were retained in datasets analyzed, and automated tagging processes will still inevitably produce some false positives.
Yeah, I guarantee that's why you don't see any screenshots, because probably the vast majority are someone clearly joking, something blatantly out of context, or possibly even edited.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, excuse me. Potentially incomplete coverage due to keyword-based collection. Due to the high volume of posts published on the platform included in this research over time frame analyzed, our approach to this data collection was keyword-based, meaning that only text-based posts included at least one word from our database. So there's shit that they probably didn't even see because they decided not to include the word Nazi in it. That is... okay.
Yeah.
Which means there's probably even more. Oh. Given the nature of online posting behavior and the prevalence of video game and images with limited or no captions, any coverage of extremist ecosystems will inevitably be a subset of their content online. And that is it for that. Holy shit.
Yep, there you go. The whole thing was literally just Gamergate all over again. It was literally just gamers are heckin' extremists, they're heckin' Nazis, they're this, they're that. It's like, really?
No, yeah, it's I'm gonna be honest, I think what is that tag? Mind broken? I think I'm mind broken by some of this shit, man.
Yeah, like just the most like it's one of those where like as to if this was like 2014, there would be all the heat and they're like, oh no, fuck you, we don't do that, we don't think like that. But now it's just, man, it just feels pathetic. Like it genuinely just feels pathetic at this point. Like, really, we're still doing this? And especially with them like outright saying further research needs to be done. It's like, so you get to be paid more government money to sit on your ass and browse forums all day?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This whole thing here. I'm glad that the European Union paid for this, because man, would I be pissed off if my tax dollars went to all this. This is just.
At least we can look upon the Europeans with pity. Maybe a little bit when we absorb them into the American world government. Yeah.
With God King Trump or his son Barron Jr.
Like, don't worry, there'll be plenty of like building blocks and you know, soft edges on tables so you don't fall and hurt yourself.
Yeah. So the only other thing I have from these people is the owner of this company did a TED Talk. I have not watched it because I don't know if TED Talks can get you booted on YouTube. But
I think it depends. There's some that are like completely free because people reference the Sam Hyde one all the time.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I'm trying to think. Like, I think it really just has to depend who's speaking.
Oh goodness. Yeah. I may do some looking into it, and we'll look into it another time. But yeah, really quickly, this is the owner or the founder. What's her name? Vidya Ramalingam. It's very, very lovely looking lady here. But she did a TED Talk talking about counterterrorism and how online myths make science dangerous. Probably about the coof. Let's see, when was this?
Making it sound like some Tom Clancy thing.
Probably. This was like this was 2 months ago, so they probably did this earlier in 2024, and they just talked about online extremism. Oh my gosh. So yeah, like this chat, I'm sure more companies like this exist. And the thing that's most funny to me is they talk about, I'm trying to figure out where they specifically mentioned it, but they talk about equality here too. That's fun. They talk about freedom of speech at some point on their website and how important freedom of speech is to them. And I feel like that's them just trying to hide. Like, they're just hoping that if you see freedom of speech, you won't look into their website any further. But, like, this ain't there. There is no freedom of speech here. At all. I just... Oh,
Yeah, no, it's basically these companies exist to give false validation to these concepts where it's like, well, this wasn't just a bunch of people we paid to sit online and browse like 4chan all day. No, these were experts performing a study.
Yep.
And you are just too dumb to understand their study. You know, it's essentially just trying to, it's a guy in a coat experiment where, you know, famously you have the social experiment where a guy sat at a table with a man in a lab coat and he's told, press this button over and over again.
Yep.
And every time he hits the button, there's a guy who screams because he's being shocked. And he's being told, if you press this 10 times, he will die. And he keeps telling him to press the button. It's that. People will waver in the face of what they believe to be a valid authority figure. So they'll try their best to look all proper. They'll try their best to look all official. It's only when you look into the finer details under it, where it's like, oh yeah, we paid a bunch of people like millions of dollars to just sit on a computer. Like, I can't get over that. Literally just, we need more money to sit on these forums that we don't like and think are extremist, but we need more money so we can just keep doing that and keep researching and studying.
Yeah, the fact that they were like, hey, give us more money because we need to keep studying. It's just like, what, the 30 million posts that you did wasn't enough? You said,
it's insanity. It's one of those of, if you even know a little bit about, the proper term for it is linguistic propaganda, which is the ability of masking your words to hide the definition of what they're talking about. And linguistic propaganda can be powerful. That's where you get stuff like Danger to Our Democracy, where it showed up on like all those news stations all at once and people clipped that.
Yep.
There is a danger to it.
Yep.
But it's one of those where you're even like basically aware of the concept and aware of like basically just the concept of people lying to you.
Yes.
You're going to be able to spot it and kind of go like, all right, that's not your motive. This is your motive.
Oh yeah, that is definitely a skill that I think a lot of normal people even are starting to pick up on. It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. And what's crazy is all it takes is you not watching mainstream news anymore, and you're going to start picking it up on it real quick. Yeah.
You know, some guy filming an event on Twitter can end up being a more reliable source. That's why when all the events like Maui happened or what have you, they were flooding Twitter with all these posts saying like, no, it was lasers. Don't ask what's going on, because people were recording stuff of like fire hydrants not working. There wasn't enough water for the fire department. You know, they are now aware of people being. Yeah, it was a whole thing. Maui was a whole complete disaster.
Yeah.
But but the whole thing about it is there's a concept. Well, even call it a concept kind of wrong, but they become aware of the power of just basic social media and how people are becoming much less trustworthy of big name, big corpo type news. So they'll flood into the internet, and essentially it's like what they do in the study. They'll lurk, they'll get an understanding of the culture, they'll get an understanding of the terminology, and then they'll pose as one of you to try to hijack the conversation and rip it somewhere else. I think that is the actual purpose of these studies. It's not to discuss online extremism, it's to understand how do these people talk, and more importantly, how do we talk like them.
They become the glowy. Oh gosh, oh my gosh, yeah, it's insane. I don't know. I am glad that like people are refusing to see it for what it is. I am glad that people are pointing it out now. I do think the next step for some of these people is to try and legislate against people trying to point that out, trying to keep people away.
100%.
I mean, it's already kind of happened. Like when what was it? South Carolina was going on. People were trying to give assistance and trying to show stuff off, and people tried to stop them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it is a thing. Well, they'll put in more effort into just not doing their job and just trying to hide all the stuff they do.
Yeah. Oh goodness, excuse me. Oh,
yep,
man.
it is about midnight where I'm at, so I think I'm gonna call it here for me. I mean, obviously you can keep going if you want to, but
for sure. I probably will, yeah. But I do appreciate you coming on. It was very much appreciated. I hope you have a fantastic night. Well, you said you were gonna go watch anime now?
Yeah, if I still got time for it, yeah, I should still have time for it. But I'm also. Do you mind if I do a little bit of shilling here?
Go right ahead.
Okay. So of course, I am tall, which is my acronym for myself because I think it's funny and speaks to my taste in women. The She-Hulk picture is not just there for style; it is also just due to if you're under 6'5", don't even bother, ladies. I'm just saying.
There we go.
But yeah. But I also have my Gamer Subs, my Gamer Subs collab. I am at 10% off. Use code TALL at checkout. I got to sell my soul to the devil here a little bit. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I saw a couple super chats that were saying just that, so I feel like I'm gonna have to say that more than once tonight.
I've been able to essentially mind break them into believing that it's a meme and not me profiting off their efforts.
Well, has it worked? Is your free advertising working?
Yep. I am also as kind of a quick little aside, I am also in the midst of a independent comic project called Cyberpop Control Theory. It's coming along pretty well. We met our goal, and we're hoping the deadline to get it out is like this summer. And if you want, I can show you some images of it in case you want to take a look at it and maybe show your audience.
I mean, if you're okay with me, I will ask. I know that like some comic book people, especially from the Comicsgate, sometimes have a hard time getting comics out, but I imagine that you'll show them up really quickly, and we're
already at like 45 pages of completed art.
Oh hell yeah! You're already beating out Vito. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, and the book is going to be about maybe 72 to like 76 page mark. That's about it. So with it being 45, we're already past the halfway mark.
That's fantastic. That's beautiful.
Yep.
Can't wait to read it. Do you know what can you say what it's about?
Is kind of like a love letter to stuff like Battle Angel Alita, Ghost in the Shell, very manga style cyberpunk.
Oh.
And I DM'd you some images you might want to pull up and show.
I will definitely bring them up. Do you have one artist that you're using for this, or do you have a couple people working on this?
We got a guy by the name of Manito. He is an Italian, and he does very, very well.
I like it. I like that. I like the style here. The style kind of reminds me of, have you ever seen Metropolis, the animated movie?
Yeah.
It kind of gives me that. That is my favorite old anime movie is Metropolis. I just love that movie so fucking much. And it kind of, the first picture here kind of gives me some old Metropolis vibes. I like it.
Yeah, there's like a handful of different influences, and I really like the guy we're working with. He is like crazy talented.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff in these pictures, I didn't even like come up with the idea. He came up with it himself. So it's like, God damn, man, you are taking this and running with it.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. I like it. I like this one.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty good. I can't wait to read it. I'll have to pick up one. Oh man.
Well, yeah, there you go. As stated, just cyber pop control theory if you want to Google it or what have you. But with that, I'm going to call it.
All right.
Like I said, it is midnight here. But thanks for having me on. It was really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming on. Have a fantastic night, sir.
Yep. Have a good one.
Peace. And he's replaced by Yippee. Well, that was the almighty Lolly. Tall, very much appreciated. As a cool sir. I am going to jump into my friend chat now. Well, chat, we are not necessarily done yet for tonight. We are done with the big portion of the stream. If you are just here for the almighty Lolly and you want to dip out now, understood. I deeply appreciate you being here. You welcome to leave now if you'd like, and I will not hold it against you. I am going to read the super chats now, though, because I am a dirty, dirty whore that has taken your money, and I will. Hold on a moment. And because I am a dirty whore that has taken all your money, I have to get on the special hat just for you. I should have put this on in the beginning, but I didn't. But I'm gonna put on the hat, and we're gonna read. And you guys can, if you would like me to read what you say, you can pay me money, and I will read what you say. I'm here for the super chats. Well, thank you. I mean, we're still gonna do more after this as well. I mean, it's only been 2 hours, and I typically do 2 to 4 hours here. And we'll see. We'll see. I'll also let Mizu know if he wants to jump in. He can. But thank you everybody for your support tonight. Very much appreciated. A lot of new people. If you are new, by the way, and you haven't yet considered subscribing, I do like to talk about pop culture. I try not to stick too much into politics, but I like to talk about pop culture. I like to talk about video games, and I do like to talk about anime and how important it is for anime to be left alone, and how important it is to gatekeep. So, if you do decide to stay, I hope you enjoy your time here. Can we casually slur? I will say that I have asked YouTube not to moderate as much as possible. But if there are words that you cannot send, it is because of YouTube. I try to employ as most freedom of speech as possible within the confines of the TOS. So, if YouTube doesn't let you send it, it is because YouTube doesn't want you to send it. But anyway, let me scroll down here. I have a few to read here. Let's see. Oh gosh, is Streamlabs not saving some of these? Okay, let me scroll up here. Okay. The Great Commandy one for 2 is it? Yeah, for some reason Streamlabs skipped a couple of these. I'm upset about that. Thank God for YouTube. The Great Commandy one for 2. New VTuber to binge watch. Let's go. Thank you. I appreciate that. You cannot casually slur, be polite. By the way, chat, I should mention, I don't know if people have asked yet in the chat. I will mention right now, all right? Akko, my character, she is not black. All right? She is not black. She's even better, in my personal opinion. All right? If you are curious, chat, what Akko is, some of you might know what a Gyaru is. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. That is the pronunciation that I have come to adapt. If you don't know what a Gyaru is, I will educate you right here and right now, and you all will absolutely love it. This is what Akko is. A hyper-tanned Asian woman. That is what I am. No, that not what I am IRL, but that is what Akko is. So if you're curious what the model is. Leave the Chinese cartoons alone? Yes. But she sounds black. Oh, fair enough. I can't really, See, what's funny is I had, was it Azahara? Azahara was like, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that because then you'll lose your black card. And I was like, I don't need a black card. So yes, I am a Gyaru. I am toasted takoyaki. You know what? I haven't heard that one before. I'll take it. That sounds cool. I like that. I just figured I should say. I don't want to I don't want people to get upset, but that is it is what it is. Anyway. Mark99 for 5. Hello, nice to see you. Just a warning, don't let this guy get started on Berserk. He'll talk till the heat death of the universe. Well, I did ask him before the stream started about Berserk, so He was probably fine. We made sure to put a cap on it. I'll have the black card in your hearts. Perfect. Perfect. I do have a picture of me holding an N-word pass, although I don't know if I am allowed to hold it. Rubito 2K10, thank you for the 5. There's a random surprise. This is a random surprise for co-op stream. Also, don't mention The Last of Us 2. He'll trash the room when you do so. Well, he was in the car when he did this, so I'm assuming that it's a good thing I didn't mention it, because I imagine that he probably would have trashed the car. Pilgrim, thank you for the 5. 10% off when using code TALL at GamerSubs. I did it, boss. Give me my kid. Like I said, I saw a couple of you doing that, which is pretty funny. That's really funny. Oh, goodness. Since you guys are chilling, I have tea, by the way, chat. If you are interested, I do have a tea company that I am sponsored by. You can get 10% off of tea by using code MommaOcco. You can get the link in the description. Use code MommaOcco for the Dragon's Treasure. You can get fantastic teas. I have bought these teas myself and I have tried them, and they are awesome. So if you want 10% off of home-brewed teas that come from the deep heart of Texas, you can get 10% off of them with MommaOcco. Excuse me. The axe to the head, thank you for the 279 Canadian. It's great you got Soundwave on as a guest. Oh, thank you. Juan Wick. Lolly was driving? No, I believe he was sitting in a car. Just in a... I don't know where he was, but I assume he was just sitting apart. Juan Wick, thank you for the 5. Lolly, how long do I have to pretend women are real? I need my sleep. You, bean word, use code TALL for 10%. At checkout, you find gooners at your gate. It's perfect. Oh gosh, YouTube, please don't crash on me. Please don't crash on me. Please, I need you to save these for me. Oh gosh. Yep, there it goes. It crashed. Hold on. Festival, thank you for the 5. Here to remind chat about no talking about dev rule, or I have to involve myself in the conversation you were trying to make. I see you. Yes, if anybody is curious, we are in a no dev this is a no dev chat. All right, it is called No Dev 2025. If you wish to mention the short fat otaku, you're not allowed to. He is banned from this chat. All right. Well, the discussion of him is banned from this chat. All right. So you are not allowed to talk about him. Period. Brotherhood of Steelman, thank you for the 5. Ask Lolly what kind of car he's in. I bet it's a Prius. Well, I didn't ask him, but maybe it is. I don't know. Is it black tea? I imagine maybe it is. I don't know. Wolf, thank you for the 2. Welcome to Guatemala, where the women chase you. Accurate. Emperor Creatine, thank you for 6 months, and then thank you for the 5. Next time you find yourself in the warehouse situation, Akko, just say, okay, I'll say it, but if I get fired, I get to call La Miga? I don't know what that means. I probably shouldn't say that because I don't know what it means. Hold on. I should look this up before saying slurs. Ah, okay. La migra. I getcha. Oh, that's great. Wolf, thank you for the 2. GTA, please don't suck and please don't cost $100. Yes, please. If it's $70, it still sucks, but it is not as bad. It's Spanish for ice. Ah, okay. I getcha. Tomahawk, thank you for the 5. Oh my god, this just reads, I don't know what shit posting or trolling is. Yes, that whole thing was just... Those people need to get out of the house. Period. Creatine again for 5. A fun fact, the husband in Fallout 4 screenshot canonically committed war crimes against Canadians. It's why he's called... Make I feel like there's a reference there that I am missing. That's great, though. Crendel Bundy, thank you for the 10, and you sent a super sticker that is a dancing lemon. Thank you. Juan Rick, thank you for the 5. Personally, as an Eggman, I just want to steal the Chaos Emeralds and piss on the moon. Is that too much to ask for? It is not at all. Can't have nice things in gaming. Excuse me. Rubito, 2K10, thank you for the 2. We're innocent men, chat. We're just innocent men. Yes, we're all innocent. The Axe to Toehead, thank you for the 279 again. No well like Orwell, excuse me. No well like Orwell. There we go. And then Sinar, thank you for becoming a member on the YouTube channel. Let me jump over to the Twitch side here. Sly Maverick, thank you for the 5 gift subs on Twitch. Very much appreciated. Very, very much appreciated. Okay. So, I need a drink. I also kind of want to start a pot of water. Chat, I think I'm gonna take a 3 minute break. I'm gonna start a pot of water, use the restroom, and when I come back, we'll continue talking. We're done talking about glowies on the internet that spend their time making research papers and spend my money doing it. But we'll talk about some other stuff here. And again, I did message Mizu if he wants to come on. If he wants to say hi, he's welcome to. Oh, looks like Mizu and Lumi are talking right now. Let me I might hop in there with them. We'll see. But anyway, give me 2-3 minutes. I will be right back. That's a perfect thing for me to unmute on. Hello.
Perfect.
You're welcome.
Okay, so in terms of a sober Gamzee and everything, one of his love interests was this character here that he decapitated, and in a lot of the fan art, people loved interpreting him just making out with the disembodied head.
Yeah, let me pull up on your thing.
You have issues. Homestuck kids have issues. You all have issues. It's okay.
I mean, of course I have issues. If I didn't have issues, I wouldn't be a VTuber.
If
I was well adjusted, I would have been in a career by now.
Fair. I mean, you dress like a career woman.
Just because I pretend to be one doesn't mean I am.
But yeah, without having to reread stuff too much, Akko basically, Vivzi and Madrano made merch of one of her characters from Has Been Hotel for Valentine's Day. It is a keychain of the rapist pimp moth demon Valentino. The kids are very, very upset at this because he is a rapist and they believe that he should not have merch of him that sexualizes him. They think it's a severe issue.
That is beautiful.
And some of them are saying absolutely crazy stuff, like putting fictional villain in quotations when talking about him, as if he's not literally a cartoon character.
Mm-hmm. That is... Oh, this woman can do no right.
Exactly.
Oh, you know, I might not want to show that.
Yeah, that's probably bad. Oh well.
Chat, you didn't see that?
We scrolled past it. Viv saw someone use the phrase, fiction doesn't affect reality, and naturally assumed, oh, that obviously applies to my rapist character that could trigger people. I should glorify it. Like, bitch, no. What does it apply to, then? What do you mean? She saw the phrase, fiction doesn't affect reality, and thought that applied to her cartoon. Why wouldn't it? That's what I'm talking about. These kids are insane. I don't know, like, where they came from. Lemmy, whatever the internet did to you, you're closer to well-adjusted than these guys.
Very accurate.
That's just because I know how to bury my pain.
/ rape and blackface mentions.
Wait, did she do blackface?
Bro can excuse the Alistair blackface incident and the harassment in the fandom, which made 2 people off themselves, but drew the line when someone doesn't like her rapist character. What? When?
I'm missing so much context here.
Also, people have like issues with Alistair because Alistair, his magic uses like voodoo symbolism, basically. And they think it's very inappropriate that Alistair is very, very clearly a pale, pasty, deer demon man when he should very obviously be black. Because he uses voodoo, and only black people do voodoo.
Yeah.
Which kind of comes off as a bit more racist, but okay.
Here, I'm going to send my viewers to you. Because I'm done.
That's all I could think of what like that means.
Oh my fuck. Chad, I'm gonna send you over to
people hate
Mizu.
Angel Dust too? People really hate, or the kids, I should say. The kids really hate that Angel Dust is a rape victim, but is also very, like, sexually forward. Which the thing is not terribly uncommon among rape victims.